I'd like to welcome everybody to the Town Shenango Board meeting, October 15th. Can you please stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Mr. Warden?
Here.
Mr. Simonis?
Here.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Hulbert?
Communications.
Just one. Mike Lumsden, Super, has resigned. I will read his resignation letter for the record. Dear board members, please accept this letter as formal notification that I am resigning of my position as town supervisor at the town of Shenango effective immediately. This has been a very difficult decision and was made due to personal circumstances that require my full attention. I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had to serve my community, and I wish my fellow board members future success in the town of Shenango. It was a pleasure serving alongside you during my time as supervisor. I would also like to give a special thanks to the following employees who I could always count on: Greg Burden, Stephanie Foss, Rachel Smith, Renee Dallimore, Diane Aurelio, Jody Carey, and Lori Eldridge. You always did your job professionally, made sure your work was completed in a timely fashion, and did your required job without complaint. You are all truly an asset to the citizens of the town of Shenango, and I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, Michael Lumsden. That's all.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to open forum. Guests shall speak in an orderly fashion and are limited to remarks 5 time minutes or less. The speaker shall deliver their comments or concerns in a civil tone and without the use of profanity, personal attacks, or other disruptive behavior, which may result in the offender's removal from the meeting. The speaker shall not be interrupted unless a matter of urgency. Please speak, if you like to speak, please speak into one of the microphones and direct your comments to the board. Thank you. Would anybody like to speak?
Good evening. My name's Jack Ellis. I'm the president of the Shenango Fire Company. I would like to start off with, we saw the proposed 2026 budget of an increase of 3% for fire companies that serve the town. I am here today because last year we accepted a 2% based on the fact we knew the town was in a tough situation. We also stated during that time we would be back this year asking for a contract raise to catch up on the last 5 years of mass inflation costs associated with the fire service. We are here asking and urging the town board to reconsider the proposed 3% and look towards a minimum of 8 to 10% increase. Over the last several town meetings, we have watched Shenango Bridge Fire Company come and explain and plead for a larger increase, all while witnessing the town board nitpick them with questions. The amount they're asking for sounds like a large amount, but it's a fair amount considering inflation costs. Like Shenango Bridge, the Shenango Fire Company has the same expenses and needs as we do. We understand the town board doesn't like raising taxes for services. However, the fire tax districts are a direct bill to the residents and businesses. Public safety is not something the town should jeopardize for its people. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello again. I'm Steve Oberhaus, president of the Shenango Bridge Fire Company. First, I want to thank you guys for your service to the community. I know it's a tough job being on the board, and I know tough times are tough in that. As Jack said, we've been asking, we started back in April, coming to the board, showing the information, showing what it's costing us to operate. We're looking for a longer-term sustainment plan. We've been asking to work with the board. We've communicated with the board. We're not getting any response whatsoever. We really need to move forward and try to build a plan, a longer-term plan for the community. Your job is to keep taxes low, take care of the people of the community. Part of that is providing fire protection service and EMS protection service. One of the things we'd like to recommend possibly would be to put together an advisory committee for the board Advisory committee could be, people from, somebody from Shenango Bridge, Shenango Forks, and Shenango Fire Company, as well as somebody from the board, and a couple town residents. And that group could look at some longer-term plans and help the board understand what we need to do going forward. Shenango Bridge, we're looking out 5 to 10 years, and we're gonna be in big trouble if we don't start funding some of these things now. As Jack said, 2% doesn't get us there. I mean, we're dropping every year, we're losing out. We're not anywhere keeping up with inflation, much less inflation for fire service, which is much more than normal inflation. So again, I'd like to meet with you guys at some point. You're welcome to visit, Shenango Fire Company, Shenango Bridge Fire Company, sit down with us. Let's try to work this together. But, 2% isn't gonna cut it. And, we don't wanna get in a situation where, it comes back with 2%. We looked at the budget. Shenango Bridge Fire Company, you're actually reducing our budget by 7.7% this year. Okay, that was the initial budget. Totally unacceptable. I mean, we can't accept a contract like that. We won't survive. So, again, we're pleading with you guys to help us. We want to work together. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Nope. Well, I got two yet.
Evening, gentlemen. My name is Ron Brink. I'm from the Morningside Heights area. And I won't talk long, but I understand that there's a solar farm moratorium being discussed, and I would urge you to really consider that and pass it if you can, and use that opportunity to tighten up the rules that we have for siting solar farms. Right now, what we have is not very much, and we really need to do better. And I know that the town of Vestal just this summer finalized their rules, and that might be a good place to start, borrow some of their stuff. And we just need to do a better job of that. So things like this proposal we have for our area, just they should never have gotten this far. It's just there's too much wrong with it. So please, moratorium, and then tighten the rules. Thank you.
Thank you.
James Zenner, Town of Shenango Planning Board member. Last night we had a discussion. The planning board is only budgeted for 12 meetings per year. And we just want to make sure that you guys are aware that we've had a second meeting last month. We're having a second meeting this month, and probably November, depending on what's going on with just for solar farms. So we'd like to make sure that you're aware of that and that you're taking care of the planning board, because we've been putting a lot of extra work into all the planning stuff that's been going on. And no, I have no desire to move up from the planning board.
Thank you.
Dave Russell, over on Johnson Road here. I kind of repeat everything that Ron said, except that you haven't upgraded the rules in a long time, since 1988, I guess. Here and there you've been doing it, but, so you want to do the moratorium, and I guess you're going to be getting into it. And I'm just kind of wondering whether the moratorium puts a stop to Cipriani and River Road, or what it does. And if that doesn't do it, let's opt out on that 487. That's going to end a lot of this stuff, and that'll put that in abeyance. There's no, look at, these companies, they're all hounding us now. They all want to come in and build solar farms. They're not going to build a solar farm if they got to pay their freight. The pilot programs are one thing, but if they have to pay commercial price taxes, they won't be coming in here. They will not be coming in here. I can guarantee you that. And that's how you nip it in the bud right away. One last thing I heard this through the grapevine, but you guys can tell me if it's true. Kevin, you probably know better than anybody on this. I heard that Darren Crack's job, that they're going to make it an appointed job. Did you guys hear anything about that? That they don't want it to be an elected position? I heard that through a source, but if I find out that's true, that's not gonna cut it. It should be an elected position, not an appointed position. So that's just something to think about. Yeah, rumors start. I don't know where they start, but it started, so I just wanted to make sure that wasn't happening. And as far as everything else, you'll hear a lot from everybody else tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lynette Menicelli. I live up in Shenango Heights. And I wanted to say I would appreciate a moratorium on the solar farms. I will be living across the road from the River Road, one that's being built in a floodplain. Done a lot of research. I think that the town of Shenango has lost enough forests, and there should be no more clear cutting of trees like Cipriani wants to do up above Morningside Heights. I was up there a couple weekends ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what it would do to that neighborhood is just unbelievable. So I'm looking at it on an environmental point of view. Building in a floodplain does not seem to be a viable option because, you know, we could have these things floating down into the Shenango Bridge and on the Shenango Commons golf courses. I've attended a lot of the planning board meetings, but I'm asking you to consider a moratorium and to work on some rules like the town of Vestal has. And I looked into that a little bit as well. Have some clear cut, you know, yes, you can build on a floodplain. No, you can't build on a floodplain. No more clear cutting of forests. Acres and acres we have lost in the town of Shenango. And I'm a lifelong resident of the town of Shenango, and I would hate to see any more of this beautiful town get ripped apart for solar panels that provide very little electricity to our grid. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Negus. The proposed solar farm is at 10 Granby Drive. I live at 9 Granby Drive. And I'm already seeing a lot of clear cutting of trees, and that's really, my parents bought that house 60 years ago, and part of the reason we bought it was because it's at the end of a dead-end road, and it's private, and it's next to the woods. And so it's really a way of life for me. But I urge you to pass the moratorium and to make sure that it cancels the Morningside Heights solar farm project, because we already have lots of drainage problems in the area, and clear cutting 25 acres of trees is not going to help that, regardless of how many retaining ponds. And also part of their solution, environmentally taking out all that many trees, and there's going to be mud subsidence if they try to put levels in there, because they're trying to build a solar farm on an incline that, you know, it's recommended that they go on flat property, and this is not flat property. And so if they want to terrace it, then that's just going to cause more subsidence and more mud in the area. And one of the solutions that they proposed for helping the drainage problem is to beef up 2 streams in the area, one that runs behind Hyder Park, which is used by the Nimmelsburg Youth Association, and I played softball there when I was a kid. It's been used for many, many years, and we spent money a couple of years ago to put a new playground in for the kids and to enrich that area. And it's a neighborhood that's residential. There's a lot of young people moving in, I've noticed, because it's an attractive neighborhood for families, and kids play in the roads. And it's a neighborhood that's currently desirable. It's not gonna be if that solar farm goes in. And all the traffic, especially on Granby Drive, because that's the only access point to that area. And it's a house street that's not very wide, and putting all those logging trucks and all the solar farm, you know, taking all those solar panels up is gonna be very life-altering for the neighborhood. And as I said, they want to beef up 2 streams, one behind Hyder Park. The other one is the one that runs from the top of my property to the bottom of it. So, and there's not really access to it, so they would end up taking out my trees and digging up literally half of my yard to put this beefed up stream in. And I understand it would be for the project and to help the drainage in the area. But I'm not crazy about half my yard being dug up and my deck is 2 feet from the stream. So it would be very disruptive. And I know I would get compensation for it, because if I don't, then I wouldn't be happy. And but it would really affect the lifestyle and the neighborhood personality and the kids who are trying to grow up there. So I would encourage you to pass a moratorium and to tighten the rules, as Ron said, and to make sure that the Cipriani project doesn't go through. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Donna Russin. I live at 32 Johnson Road. I'm the chairperson for our community, Nimmensburg Against the Solar Farm in our neighborhood. I'd like to just address the fact that the environmental study that Cipriani did, DEC did not come in on site. It was never an on-site study. They listed 3 animals in the woods. They listed white-tailed deer, squirrels, and it was a common, the next one was. And I know there's more animals than that there. I have fox come down from the mountain in my yard. And not only that, it's a joke because there was no on-site. And one of the persons, I don't know if she's here tonight, she mentioned and she filmed bats. And I know that endangered species are the long brown-eared bats. And the study was done saying they're 60 miles away. Well, if no one's been on site, and they didn't mention bats, Cipriani in the study, it just mentioned 3 animals. So I'd just like to say with local law, this is Town of Shenango, local law number 6 of the year 2023, a local law repealing and replacing Chapter 67 of the Town Code entitled Renewable Energy Systems on page 8. At the discretion of the board, any false or misleading statement in the application may subject the applicant to denial of the application without further consideration or opportunity for correction. I've been through hours and hours on looking at what Cipriani's done, and I can find a lot of discrepancies. Also, I'm frustrated because I've been coming here for 4 months and haven't gotten the feedback, and we have hired a lawyer. And if this goes through, if it's voted through, we will appeal, because that's our right, within 30 days. And also, if there's flooding damage, I think everybody, the town of Shenango and all the boards should be sued. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak?
Oh, I can't help but open my mouth. Pat O'Brien, 47 North Morningside in Binghamton here. All right. We in that neighborhood have already experienced flooding due to poor planning. So you got to realize that we're somewhat skeptical that this is going to be different. Kind of heard that before, right? Now, the way I see this is, if they want to put in a solar farm, that's fine. But for many folks here, their home is their most valuable possession. And if the town board was willing to say, hey, look, we will cover all the costs for any damage that occurs into the foreseeable future to any homes in the area, I'm on board. But if you're unwilling to do that, that tells me you realize you're imposing an unreasonable risk on us. That's what it comes, to me, that's what this whole thing comes down to is, we're being asked to take on a risk and no reward. The company gets the reward, we take the risk. We've already experienced bad risk evaluation. It's time you folks stand up and say, all right, we will cover the cost of any damage done by the water. I'd challenge it, write that into your whole laws. We'll cover that cost. Then I'm on board. You know, it is putting a commercial enterprise in a residential neighborhood. Which, you know, that's not what we bought into. I bought into that because, and I bought way up at the end of the street just for what somebody else said, because it's quiet. I have a disabled son who likes to go outside and wander around. It's quiet, safe environment for him. Trucks coming by all the time, that's a different environment. You may say, well, it's only temporary, but the negative consequences of my son could take years for me to remediate. It's not a temporary, once he gets shook about something, it's not, hey, he's over it 5 days later. It took me, Jesus Christ. You know those hand dryers in the bathroom? I toured the JC Mall for months to train him to be able to even walk into a bathroom that had those dryers. So those trucks will cause a dramatic negative consequence to my son. Now, I'm only one person, I realize that, and you need to look at the entire community. But I'd actually really want you to focus on the liability that is being imposed upon us if this goes through. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. We'll move on with our meeting. Oh, okay.
This is Kay Debner. I live at 5 Heights Court. Our yard goes into the park. The park is used all the time for baseball, soccer. The children love the new playground. I know this, the flooding issue is going to impact the park because even the backfields now flood, where the kids can't always play soccer all the time. And it's very busy all the time because you have people up and down the streets parking because it's a very busy place and a lot of people use that resource. And also, our neighborhood is a neighborhood. We have people riding bikes. We have people walking. They walk their dogs. We even have ladies in their walkers. They go up and down the streets in their walkers and around, and they're able to do it safely because there aren't these trucks going in and out. I know I left the other day, and at the end, I don't know where it's the one where they're logging, there was tons of mud in the road, you know, and we had to go through the mud. And then I also, when I was on the highway, Front Street, there were 2 enormous logging trucks that must have come out of our area, and that's probably where the mud all came from. And they were big. They were like tractor-trailer size logging trucks, so it's not some little tiny truck going in and out. And I know they're not going to see these little kids walking in the neighborhood, running out. Even if you come out of your house, they're not going to see a child. They're so big. And for the safety of the children and the people who live there, and also the drainage issues, we can't go through another flood. I mean, everybody's going to be impacted with this. It's just going to come down the mountain and we're going to be stuck. And like you said, are you going to pay us for the damage that this is going to cause us? It's up to you to protect our neighborhood. And I would hope that that's what you would do. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it?
My name is Pat Costantino. I live at 45 North Morningside. And this has been so upsetting, and they haven't even started the project yet, which I hope never happens. But the flooding itself, and we've been through it, I've been living there for over 40 years. The flooding is devastating. It's horrible to have to clean up your yard, your basement, your garage, your shed, from all the muck and everything else that comes down and flows into your area. It's heartbreaking to think that people who are supposed to be looking out for our town residents would approve such a thing. It's ludicrous. And it's on a slant. Is that even allowed, on a slanted side of a hill? If you could just come up in our neighborhood and see how it is now. And it's been good because it's been a little drier lately. But when it rains, even if it's not a heavy storm, I end up with puddles. They're more like ponds in my backyard. And it takes days for them to dry up because we have clay soil that doesn't absorb. So anyway, I am against it. Strongly against it.
Thank you. Okay, all set? We're moving on with our meeting, or does anybody else like to speak? Okay,
Kevin, I'd like to say something.
sure.
We all get texts and we get phone calls, and I want to respond back to you folks. And more often than not, when you contact me, I'm doing something and I have to get back to you later on. What's happening a lot with me is when I return the call isn't picked up. And when it goes to voicemail, I always get the voicemail box is full. So you're not hearing back from me at all. I don't want you to think I'm not responding to you or any of this. You gotta clean out your mailboxes, otherwise you're never gonna hear from us. It happens all the time. That's it.
Okay. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to 5.1, old business, retiree health insurance discussion. He's not here, is he? Are you? Okay. I thought he was supposed to be here tonight.
No, yeah, he was.
Did everybody got the,
I got the sheet, but it didn't get into what the changes were. It just was the new program.
so what Jody tried to inform me about today was that it will increase to $101.30 a month per retired employee of the town that is on the Medicare program. And before we were paying $84 a month. If we continued with the same one, which is the blue enhanced.
Was there a time limit that we had to have this done by, or just before the end of the year?
I thought that was gonna be,
Because I was expecting him to be here to
yes.
bounce all these questions off, so.
I was too, and he had a recommendation to maybe make a change to the current plan that we have.
Yeah.
So I was looking for more information on that new plan that he was recommending. I still have the information, I did read through that, I did see the increases, but he felt going forward, it would be beneficial for both the employees and the town to move to a different plan.
Jay, where in that document that was submitted is the increase for?
It was on the packet, Gene, that he had presented last time, when he handed out these green packets that he went through.
But
There
that
was a
wasn't for
couple-
the Medicare. I believe you're looking at the town insurance.
I am looking at the town insurance.
This is
I am.
Medicare. There's 14 people on the Medicare insurance.
For the retirees.
For the retired.
Yeah. I guess just on a basis of it, the retirees are not in a position for that, and I still didn't see any explanation as to why it's not offered, and what happened within a couple of days from him presenting it to have that removed.
Right, but within that packet as well, he still had the Medicare changes as,
Oh, he did have it.
he did.
Okay.
These were part of that packet.
Okay.
I know, looking back at an email Jody sent October 1st, she says that she just talked to Chuck, who said that the Medicare Plan Blue Active was just being discontinued.
Okay, that's what.
So it's like we have to pick a new plan.
Well, that I understood that it was not offered. But it was just a few days between when he made the presentation to when we got the information, and that's why we were getting it for today's meeting.
Yes.
So I do understand we have to pick a new one. I just think until we can get it sorted out, I just hate to put that onto the retirees.
No.
Cause that's the place that, you know, that's all fixed income, they're basing, you know, their livelihood on their expenses.
Yes.
So I don't know what we need to do, or, you know, how to cover that. It's $100, what was that number you said, $100?
So it was 101.30. According to Jody, that was the comparable plan to the one that we had before, that we were paying $84 a month.
It was
on.
a $17 difference.
$17.
$17.30 difference.
That's the differential.
$242.20 a month brings $2,906.40 for the year.
So maybe the town covers that for the first year.
Because if
As a
you go with the
percentage?
if you go with the lower one, a lot of out-of-pocket expenses.
It is, that changes a
yes,
lot of different coverages, right?
It's too much.
When someone goes on unemployment, or retires, do they have options of what they can get, or just the town offers and says, this is what you're gonna get?
So there's retirees that are on this is Medicare, when you go on
Right,
Social Security, Medicare, and that's why there's only 14 people on it. There is a lot of other
Right.
town employees that have retired that are on the regular insurance system.
But I wonder if they're expecting a high-end insurance, or a Medicaid, PPO, or they just get what we offer them. I don't know what I never retired, and I guess I never will.
Well, it was my understanding this was comparable to what they're used to.
Right, but.
What they
but
currently have.
When he was here before, he said, well, some towns are doing the lowest ones.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering what would make him say, we're okay with doing the lower one. I'm not saying I am.
Well, he's saying that because it's gonna cost, your cost to the town is gonna get cut by almost in half that you pay per employee, but they're gonna pay out of pocket.
I agree with that, but if we're saying when someone
It's
retires,
not comparable.
we're gonna expect to get the high-end one, are we obligated, I'm okay with it, to give them the high-end, even though it's a different program? I'm not explaining it that well, but
There,
when
the
someone,
way
when
that
some-
the way that I understand it, Dave, is that from having the conversations before, the people who are retiring and going onto this plan are expecting that coverage,
okay,
because that's what the plan has been, and that's what we've offered them as a benefit. The cost is a separate issue to me, but because we can't give them that, we have to give them something comparable, and that's comparable.
that explains it.
Okay. It explains it to you? Good.
That's the expectation.
I mean, I'm not 100%, this is what I was told by Jody. I was hoping that the gentleman was here and we can confirm it. Do you want to push it to the 29th?
I mean, we've got to do it to the 29th, because we have to have a resolution to change it and operate and adjust the costs. But for the conversation and the resolution for the 29th, I'd like it to be that the cost to the retiree is not going to increase because of this for the 2026 year, and we'd have to
I
evaluate it for
support that,
27.
Gene. Yes, I would support that.
Okay.
And I don't want them to not have insurance because we don't do something timely.
Okay.
Nate, can you draft that resolution for that, and then we can have the full discussion then?
Yeah, I'll certainly draft it for the Medicare Blue enhanced plan, PPO, with the distinction that the delta between the current premium, monthly premium for retirees and the new monthly premium will be covered by the town for the 2026 fiscal year. The only thing I don't know, and this is where it's like, yeah, we hoped Chuck would be here. I don't know if there's a deadline
Yeah, that's,
which you have to act by. Often there is, because this is like the time to select. I know for another client of mine, their deadline was October 15th to notify of a change in plan. Now, different healthcare company. So in an abundance of caution, you might by motion authorize the Medicare Blue Enhanced plan tonight. And then if you find out that you could change your mind later, then we have until whatever that date is to change your mind, but at least there's a choice made, because otherwise, I don't want you to miss out on selecting a retiree health insurance plan.
Then,
Gene, do you wanna make that?
Then I'll make a motion to, for the town board to select the Medicare Blue Enhanced for the retirees for the 2026 fiscal year, with the condition that the difference from the plan that was discontinued to this plan that we're approving be covered by the town for 2026.
I'll second that.
any discussion?
I have none.
I have none.
I have none. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Mr. Warden,
Aye.
Mr. Simonis,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert.
Aye. Okay, moving on to 5.2, wastewater treatment plant update. Alex, Greg, this is I believe the change order.
All right, this is change order.
Here.
Sorry about that. Okay, this change order's been in the making for a while. There were some things authorized early on for sludge removal from CAS 1, CAS 2, and CAS 3 at the plant, 4 bays and main chambers. So we knew this was coming. We have final numbers on it with Leesen's help from B&L. I think I'll have her go through the details of it, but what we had originally arranged for was we knew we had a tonnage to be removed from the chambers. And early on, they looked at what they were at depth-wise and knew they were going to exceed that, but it still had to get removed. Part of it was a result of the grip process was not occurring properly from a maintenance standpoint on our own. Then we had 2 times where the belt press was down, if I'm not mistaken, which caused other delays where material couldn't be removed or processed on our end, so it stayed in the tanks and had to get moved out. And through that operational process, Camden Group recommended that it be removed by liquid hauler, not tried to put back into one of the other tanks, that we couldn't move it from one tank to the other, couldn't get the material out and run it through our own press because it wasn't operational or just couldn't handle it. So in that time frame, they've removed the material plus excess material at the rate that they had in their contract. We had authorized $35,000 on CAS 3. We know that they exceeded that. If I'm not mistaken, they exceeded that by. Correct. So they're not billing for the extra on that one, but they're billing for the extra that they were told would be okay on the others. CAS 3, I actually felt that they were entitled to bill that should they wanted to, but they said no. It's like $56,000 in excess. They said it would have held them up too much time to go through the process, so they just kept pumping that week and got it out of there, so they didn't slow themselves down. So all in all, the number of overage for material they had to get out of the tanks in order to empty them resulted in, what are we at, 143?
145,000.
And some change. Leeson has the details to it, though. I've been trying to keep track of it so I can help answer it. Unfortunately, I wasn't here at the last meeting, and I understand it got moved to tonight, so I made sure I was here tonight.
Any discussion on that?
Does that complete all the sludge removal from the tanks?
No,
Is-
there will still be additional hauling from
tanks 1 and 2.
What do you expect that budget to be?
We could run a number of that. It would likely be close to, if not maybe a little less than this, but I can definitely get you that number and we can work through that as best we can in advance. We ran a summary number back in, I believe it was back in May, about what we anticipated this hauling to be, and we were pretty close with that estimate, since the contractor was able to drain the tanks and see what was down there based on the depth. So we should be able to do something similar with tanks 1 and 2 once those do begin to drain.
Is the filter press up and running now?
Yes.
Is there any opportunity to move that through the filter press, or is that not a recommendation to do?
We can discuss that closer with Camden Group. At the time, we originally were putting it back through the plant, but then there were some clogging issues, so they did not recommend that we continue doing it that way and recommended that it get hauled off-site. But depending on how it's operating at that time, there were some issues with the WAS pump as well, which I believe has been replaced. But we can definitely have that conversation again and try to send as much back through the plant as we can.
I'd be interested to see if we could do that. Obviously, we don't want to create any clogging issues with that. So from your standpoint, we could be looking at another 140,000 for tanks 1 and 2.
I can confirm that, but possibly, yeah.
But you're expecting the same volume of what you removed already, right? So there wouldn't be any reason to expect any less,
Well-
especially if we didn't get charged for partial removal. I believe it was tank 3. Alex, I'm not certain, but what I'm
Correct.
saying is that a fair assessment to make?
That's a fair assumption, yeah, I would say.
Is that for both tanks, or is it 145 a tank, 150 a tank?
Likely for both tanks.
Okay.
We had estimated, if you see the May 19th email, it gives a summary of the estimated depths and how we came up with those numbers based on vertical linear foot. So we'll do the same thing for 1 and 2 before we, before the contractor proceeds, just so everybody's aware of what we may encounter.
I think you need to do a little bit better of an investigation, because you were 25% under in that May 16th estimate.
Okay.
Because it was at the outside. The worst case scenario is what was worded in there for 116, and we're at 145. So I just want to make sure there's not assumptions when you're going back, or you're qualifying what your assumptions are so that they can be verified.
Yes, we did on the May email. We anticipated that the belt press was going to be back up and running for CAS 3, which unfortunately it wasn't. So that was part of that, but we'll definitely look at all the worst case scenario factors when we run this number again.
The other part of the correspondence that was in it, that was, this was a change order to keep the project going, and I know that has to happen, but this was something that was a town responsibility to do. It's a change order to the contract. So is there any issue with the funding on this being not falling within the funding of the project?
No, this change order will go forward and get EFC approval because it was a necessary action as part of the project. So we've been in discussions with EFC on this, that this is something that we're running into.
Okay.
Is this coming out of contingency or out of a contractor-specific bucket of excess?
So this would come out of or we would recommend it come out of the contractor contingencies as a change order rather than the miscellaneous work allowance. We like to keep the miscellaneous work allowance for smaller incidental items that Greg can recommend that are below that $35,000 threshold.
I just asked that for your information to clarify. There are two places the excesses can come out of.
And there's not a cost analysis that has to be done for this, for the funding agency to approve it, because it's such a large amount?
What do you mean by cost analysis?
Was the rate, their $400 per ton, was that rate in their original contract?
Yes, that was their unit price item for sludge hauling. That was part of their original contract amount. But we had only estimated that there would be 230 tons, and there was quite a bit more because we weren't able to quantify that
You
at the time
might
of
have
design.
received a whole nother year of solids and grit between design and.
Well,
Yeah.
was there a discussion on the economy of scale of this? I mean, if you're talking about X numbers for 10 units, and now we're talking about Y dollars for Z. I mean, that doesn't seem to be a conversation that should not be had.
I did
And
not have
realized-
that discussion. I know it was, the 400 was based on, $400 per unit was based on 200 units.
Yes.
I did not have a discussion with them. If it's double the units, is it $300 a ton?
I would just expect you guys to be going through those exercises when you're bringing it to the board for approval, before you do that.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Is that it with that item, the change order item, or?
The only thing I saw was that the change order was not signed by the contractor.
Correct. So we typically move forward as it's laid out in the bottom. So the engineer recommends, the owner accepts, and then the contractor accepts. If you would like, we could have the contractor sign this first, and then we could have a resolution at the meeting on the 29th to have the town sign that.
Okay, because we've had this conversation, almost every change order that's come through, contractors have to sign it first. That's the process.
Okay. I was not aware. I will make sure that they get that signed, and then we'll get this back in front of you for the October 29th meeting.
Okay. I'll start with that, Alex, or?
Yeah, are we going to need Leeson for any other discussion on this 5.2 or 5.3?
5.3, I don't think we have anything for.
I didn't get anything.
No,
No, there was nothing there.
okay. So we're gonna move to 5.4, but that's Greg, that has nothing to do.
Thank
Which one do you wanna do? What was the other one? Did you have something else, Alex?
He was thinking 5.3.
No, I just,
There's nothing on 5.3.
yeah, so if you don't need Leeson on anything else on 5.2 or 5.3, I was just gonna say she could go.
Nope, you can go. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Do you want me to discuss the request for hearing on the agenda next week?
We should discuss that briefly if you have a moment. We do have another change order coming. We just want to make sure it's on the next meeting agenda. She's working to have the information to us early next week so Greg and I can look at it and get it to you Thursday. Quick overview? Thank you. We discussed it this morning and
So we sent an email to the former town supervisor, but on October 6th, we received a time extension request from Contract 1A, who is the general contractor for the Northgate Wastewater Treatment Plant project. In my couple of previous correspondences in September, we've thought this may be coming. This is due to several factors, including that electrical equipment delay, some of the operational issues at the Northgate treatment plant, including the belt press, and then some contractor scheduling items. B&L received the request with an associated cost proposal to go along with that. We have currently reviewed that and sent comments back. We are expecting to receive a response from the contractor tomorrow, which will allow us to get our review done and prepare a change order packet for the board, which we intend to get to Greg and Alex no later than next Wednesday, the 22nd, so that it can be on the agenda for the meeting on the 29th. So we'll provide our recommendation and can be available at that meeting to discuss.
Okay. All right. Any
Thanks,
other
everyone.
questions on that, or?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, gonna move on to,
There was an outstanding question from the last meeting about electrical charges and who owns the temporary stuff. Was that run to ground? Because I have Greg, I know it's gonna be coming up in Greg's report for stuff, you know, because of the increased electric temporary use. So, yeah, where does that set in whose court on your side?
So far, the contractor's not requested any additional funds to run the temporary power.
No, the question was that the contractor, who's responsible to pay for that? And from what the town board was given, it's the contractor who was to pay for those temporary utilities, but they haven't been paying it. Is that,
Greg actually sent me, the electrical invoices, so we're reviewing that right now. The contractor's aware that they should have been paying for that. They were not, so we're reviewing that and they intend to make everything right with that.
okay, so that's in process.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Do
Thank
you,
Lisa.
what do you, before, here's another thing. I know at the last meeting, the Carmichael Road was talked about, and I think the discussion there was having it, the one, or the cross streets are, right, being included as a change order for the contractor. I'm not sure if, was that communicated to Leeson already?
No one has discussed it. I did review the meeting last week, to see where the change orders is, so I can proceed with that if that's the direction that we're moving in.
That was
Yeah,
my,
that's what we discussed. I don't know the,
I think it was basically talking to Leeson for her to put the change order materials together, so I just, since she's here,
Yep.
wanted to make sure that was communicated.
Credit back from the contractor. and
For the
town-
credit,
And the town will complete the payment on their own.
yes.
no, that was not the.
Having the contractor
No.
do the work as part of the project.
The whole road.
One lane plus patchwork, right?
I think it was, no,
Whole road now?
whole road.
Darren, was reconstruction of the road, right?
It was milling and paving, going through this year, getting everything ready to drive and paved, and Darren had said that everything was okay for where it stood right now, but at the end of the project, from intersection to intersection, on the north and the south end, and the entire width of the road, mill it and pave it.
And included as a change order in the project.
Right, but for the contractor to do everything that they're contractual to do.
And the expectation, Leeson, was that the credit offered by the contractor would be factored into that, right? Right.
You can, request that from the contractor and you'll see a change order and, next couple meetings.
Their tie-ins are scheduled end of this year? Yeah, didn't they have a tie-in still to do on Carmichael?
Yeah, that will not be, that startup's not scheduled for this year.
Okay. Just double checking on that.
Okay? Okay. Good with all
All
that?
right, thank you, Nate.
Okay, moving on, Greg, again, 5.4.
Over the last few months, we've been searching for wastewater treatment plant operators. I was asked back in September to put where we stand for applications and so on and so forth. So as of 9/24, or as of 10/15, I have not received any applications for either the chief wastewater treatment plant operator or the 2A wastewater treatment plant operator. So moving forward, I figured I'd give you my recommendation, which I have in the past. I would strongly recommend that the town hires a contracted operator to run the entire wastewater treatment plant facility. That includes the plant, the lift stations, and the compost facility. That would be my recommendation. Or allow me to advertise again at either a higher rate to see if we can get any more interest, or we keep operating like we should, or like we have been, and filling two roles that are voided right now with the crew chief and a laborer position. So that's where we stand with the operators, and the first one is my recommendation, which I've offered in the past, is to hire the entire process out.
I guess we would need numbers on that.
Yep, so,
Numbers and details of what they're gonna do.
okay. I know I've provided that in the past, but we wanted, I believe Nate and I discussed, we would like to see a 12-month contract
Yeah.
instead of a 6-month, like we think we did it 6 months last time, because we started in the middle of the year. So I will reach out and try to get a 12-month contract, operating all the wastewater treatment plant facilities.
Does anybody else
Where,
have any-
yeah, I'm just, where does that fall with the procurement policy about obtaining one quote? Because that was the part, that was the discussion that it was, we talked about having to do an RFP to get proposals to do the work. And then compare that against what actually is coming out of the budget and what's going into the budget and where it's all coming from.
I don't remember the RFP discussion. I remember we got stalled with it. I don't recall that. So at the end of the day, we can, Nate can, or whoever can draw up an RFP, and I can help, go out for proposal. Last I thought we were waiting for was the feasibility study. I thought that's what we were waiting for. But
That's part of the overall process, yes. To commit to something, it's not my intention to commit to something until the board decides that we are or aren't doing the feasibility, but that was part of the direction we were going in conversation. And we have to do the RFP for the feasibility study. So to do what you're proposing, to hire that out to a firm, it has to fall within and meet everything within our procurement policy.
I understand that we would have to go out for RFP for that. I was just getting the proposal to see what it would actually cost, if that was even feasible, if we wanted to do that, and look down that direction. I mean, I know we're gonna have to go out to bid or an RFP for the whole thing itself.
Greg, I would just kind of leave that up to you on how you want that process to flow. If you want to take the time to get a budget number from Camden
Yep.
that we can't actually authorize, but it gives us a number to determine whether or not it fits within the capability of the town to do that, or put together the RFP. I mean, we had numbers before, so if you're not comfortable with them, which process do you want to have happen?
Whatever one's the quickest at the end of the day. I mean, I was asked to get a 12-month contract because we didn't really like 6. After
Yeah.
Nate and I had some discussions. I would much rather put together the RFP and get it going than waiting around months before we make a decision. So if we're gonna wait months, I'd rather, at the end of the few months, have a decision made instead of something up in the air.
I don't disagree with that.
I
would support an RFP, Greg, to go out and do it on a 12-month. I'd also be interested in a multi-year.
Okay.
But I do recall that you did provide that budgetary number. And are you comfortable that that's about what that budget would be?
Yes, I am. It's in that ballpark, and I think that if we went to a 12-month, it probably could be cut down some as well.
Right, percentage.
Full well known, or even a multi-year. So,
Do you have a recommendation on where you'd want those salaries to go to? Because this is just an option, and if it doesn't work out as a backup or as an alternate path, do you want to propose those rates that, to put out for advertisement?
I would increase it at least $3 for the wastewater treatment operator chief,
Mhm.
and probably $2 for the operator standard 2A.
And
But
that
we
would
also
be
have
an
to talk
MOU again, or an
with the
agreement with the union to do that?
In order to actually hire and pay somebody, we would need that, but I know they've been at least accommodating in the recent past about this particular position and the need to offer a higher starting salary.
I will do that as well. All doing the RFP, just in case that fails, or if that's good with you guys.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
fine with that.
Yes, I have no problem with that.
So then from like a timeline perspective, I guess, the next meeting, probably like want to see the drafts of the RFP to comment on, and then not necessarily to approve it at the next meeting unless you're really comfortable with it, or, introduce it to you at the next meeting with an eye towards a resolution authorizing it to go out at the first meeting in November.
I think we need to move that quickly.
Yeah, if it can be buttoned up for the next meeting, I don't see any reason not to. you're a month away right now if it has to go another meeting.
Agree?
So,
Fortunately, we've done some RFPs recently that we can take a look at the language from. So it's really, I think, Greg, you and I just working out your specifications to what these folks would actually be doing.
Okay.
all right. Thanks, Greg.
In with all that, I do have an open position for the crew chief that has not been filled since that was vacant. I'm asking the town to allow me to post that internally to see if we have any qualified applicants internally. In my stuff, I put a recommendation as to a starting salary for that position. That I got from when the increase was made in the CBA agreement. I used that $27 figure. That's where I got that from. So I'm asking to be able to post that internally to see if I have any qualified applicants.
I say do it.
Yep, I have no problem with that.
Do we have an issue with the? It's not higher than what's in it. It's, being that it's not a new employee off the street.
Is it the third year rate?
I'll have to look. I don't know exactly what it wasn't, I don't remember what if it was the third year rate. If it was either higher or, I don't believe it was as high as the third year rate, no.
Yeah, I don't have the contract language in front of me to know exactly what we have to offer. I don't recall if there's language in there that says if it's a lateral move or a move, promotion, if you will, for an employee, whether they get advanced rates or not.
There was nothing in the contract as for lateral moves that I'm aware of. Everything was for new hires.
Yeah, I mean, then they're most likely supposed to start at the third or the first year rate. I assume it's a raise, but
No. Well, depends. Not for anybody internally that would probably qualify. No.
Yeah,
That's where I came up with the 27.
Internally or externally, it's the.
Internally,
It's the first year rate at that position, because they either came from something else or not.
even with the internal. Okay.
and I think offer it internally at the whatever the rate is that the contract says we can offer it at. Offer it internally, and if there's some conversation by an internal candidate for what they'd like, that can be presented to the board.
Okay.
But that's also a union issue. So, okay.
That's all I have for 5.1.
Okay, you wanna do 5.5?
Did, well, last week or last meeting I wasn't here, you did discuss that we were gonna do this at budget time. Is this something you wanna talk about tonight, or do you wanna do it on the 21st? Or that's up to you folks.
So I was prepared to talk about it, but I don't have any issue with it being a budget issue. But the timing on whatever it is has to go to a public hearing
Yep, understood.
for all of that. So how close are you to having all of the documents ready for a public, for public hearing presentation? I mean, just polishing this stuff up?
I changed the one, there was an issue with the Excel thing, and I changed that, and I believe everything there is ready to go.
Okay. And if we have the discussion at the budget meeting, the following, we can set the public hearing meeting after that. That'll get you what you wanted, because you said you had a billing that's already been passed.
A billing just went out,
Right.
so this missed the billing, so we wouldn't need to be done until January. Unless you pass it by a resolution, then you guys can do it at any time. And I believe the rates can change mid-billing. But that's up to you folks.
So I would just, my 2 cents, the budget hearing, I would say do the water sewer rate increases hearings that same day. Do all the hearings. We also need to do, Greg, I think I'd asked you to try to get the EDU stuff attached to this. But that needs to be a part of the discussion as well, because you folks have to schedule a public hearing on that. We have to send notices out to every resident saying this is what your assessment is going to be, or giving them the information for that. And we want to make sure that we do that in time. We should be doing that at the same time as we do the budget hearing.
Well, we're having the budget discussions next week.
21st.
Right. So we're not talking about doing a public hearing that night, that day.
No, I know, I'd wanna make sure it doesn't get forgotten. It needs to be discussed, you folks need to schedule a public hearing on the EDU benefit assessment.
Okay.
The numbers are all ready to go. Everything's polished, ready for 2026.
And the notices that were sent out last year will need to go out again this year. They're gonna have to go out every single year whenever we do this.
Okay. That should be in with the clerk, I would assume. Have that notice.
I don't remember who put it together and sent it out, if it came out of the clerk's office or your office, but it's gonna need to be done as part of the scheduling of the public hearing and giving notice.
What is the EDU?
It's an equivalent dwelling unit. It's for the, yeah.
Okay, I don't have any problem with tabling this until the 21st.
Until the 21st in budget discussion. All right, good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
We have a lot here.
Yeah, we got a lot here. Okay, 6.1, public hearings. There are none tonight. So we are on to 7.1, new business. There's no public hearing tonight. We're on to new business, 7.1. Yep, there's no public hearings tonight. On to 7.1, second floor LED replacement. Greg, that's you again.
I was asked to get the quotes for the second floor LED light replacement. I reached out to 3 different vendors, and in front of you, you have 3 different quotes for changing out the 100+ LED lights fixtures that are upstairs on the second floor. You also have in your thing a packet, recommendation that I put in for who I chose.
So, Greg, there were a lot of things that were excluded from MACO's. There were clarifications from decal. Theirs was just a number. And then the one from Blanding had clarifications about what it excluded and what it included, and all 3 of those were different. So my only question is, and they were pretty tight in numbers, so there wasn't a lot there, but did you have a conversation with DECO about the items that were excluded or included in the others are in that number?
I did not have that conversation. I reached out to all 3 vendors with the amount of lights that we wanted changed. Then I relied on them to give me the quotes. I wasn't sure if I could reach out to them and have that conversation. Did you provide a scope to them? I provided the amount of lights that needed to be changed, and that when they were being changed, they were okay to change them during the day. Didn't have to do overtime. But there is differences here, like, do we know that the last quote, the one you recommend, are they planning on removing and disposing of them? I can only assume, but that, we know what that means. Bill, So- because Gene brings up a good point, Matco excluded it. Right. I'm sorry, they did include that in the demo, but there is no, I don't know from the last quote if they did, because there are significant differences across the 3. Understood. I can reach out again to the 3 vendors if you'd like and get more clarification on what we were looking for.
I would.
Okay.
I mean,
I think you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I think you do, there's just too many ambiguities there. Okay.
And was the proposal request, was that coordinated with Alex or Nate?
No. I went around and counted how many lights we had in certain sizes and so on and so forth, and reached out to the 3 vendors like I did last time, and did it the same way.
Okay. And it was a written it was a written scope of work, because that's what the procurement policy calls for this level, is a written scope of work sent out for quotes.
I don't even believe we did a written scope of work the last time. I just did it the same way we did last time. But I can gladly do that, yes. I think you just need to clarify that. Yep.
Well, if there was not a written proposal, then it has to be.
So you wanna go out for quotes again?
Well, the procurement policy for this written scope of work to be sent out and for everybody to respond to. If he just called up 3 people and asked for a quote on 110 lights, it doesn't meet our procurement policy.
And that's based on the dollar amount.
That's based on the dollar amount.
I think that's simple, Greg. Just write a scope of work and send it back to all 3 of them and have them quote based off of the scope. Okay.
And just have conversations in the future with Alex and Nate on what has to happen with contracts and procuring pricing, because I know this isn't an absolute mission-critical, time-sensitive issue, but it just doesn't need to get delayed either.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, 7.2 Bookkeeper. As of today, we have 3 approved by Broome County. Indeed ends on the 23rd of October. What's the board want to do? Do you want to put an interview committee together?
I guess after the 23rd, when we see them, we can, because we can't start doing anything until then.
So we want to wait till the 29th, or do you want to?
Yeah, because at least the way that I'm thinking about it, Kevin, is they all come in on by the 23rd. The board gets them in the agenda for us to review them and have the discussion to set that up for, at the meeting on doing the interviews. That kind of fits in the timeline for me.
Now you say that, I look at the 23rd, yeah, so that they'll make the agenda for the 24th, the Friday.
Yep.
And then we have meeting the 29th, so, okay, we'll make sure that gets on there.
Okay.
That's all I got on that one. Moving to 8, department reports, 8.1 DPW report.
Before we do
What?
that for new business, do we need to have a conversation about
We
this?
need to have a lot of conversation.
So do you want to go through where do you want to have the conversation about, the supervisor position?
With the bookkeeper too, we won't be able to do an abstract without,
Yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about the bookkeeper's position, and what are we going to do until we have one? Do you want to continue with that one?
Well, the bookkeeper position is only a transfer of power from the supervisor to the bookkeeper, so the supervisor can do all the duties of the bookkeeper. So it's not like we can't do that.
Supervisor can do the duties of a bookkeeper if they know how to do the duties of a bookkeeper.
Separate conversation, but you're right. But all the responsibility for that is within that.
I understand what you're saying about responsibility. Okay, let's talk about the supervisor then.
So what's the conversation is, what we're gonna do with, Kevin, right now you're the deputy supervisor, so you're in that spot. We've got to decide what we're gonna do with time frame for accepting applications for a new supervisor, or if there's somebody that is on the board that wants to take that position. We have to appoint somebody. So,
I'm encouraging Kevin to accept that position to fulfill Mike's term.
I would think one of you two would like to do it.
you would be thinking wrong.
I was just going on experience on the board.
I understand, but it was a year and a half ago. I went through that process, and it's not anything that I have the time to put into it, that position needs. So, I'm in the same decision now that I was when Joanne resigned. But I see this as a team issue.
Right.
It's a huge team issue.
So,
There's 2 pages. I can't even get into it right now.
I see you, Kevin, as being the best candidate among us, but I do see it as a team deal. So I'd be lousy at it, so.
I understand it's a team deal, but I just don't feel that the team's gonna back me. That's just where I'm at. Mike resigned Thursday morning, and the only person I talked to was Jay. I did not hear from the 2 of you. So,
I would have.
I just don't feel the team is there. There's a lot of issues. If we keep going forward with the way, you're gonna be out another supervisor. Put me in there, go forward with what we're doing now, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. There's a lot of problems. Especially without a bookkeeper.
Well, that's the second piece. We do need to resolve that as well.
I mean, I don't believe it would be as bad if we had a bookkeeper in there, but there is stuff just piling up as we speak right now.
so the options for the bookkeeper. We've got a CPA that we have a contract with that we can supplement that bookkeeping if.
Listen on that, can we?
They can certainly provide some supplementary services. You know, bookkeeper's not in a town officer position. It's just an employee. So if you want to hire a contractor to fill that in, you know, backfill it for now. I don't know how available that firm might be. That's the
said
unknown issue.
There is availability, but he cannot do that, can he?
You
Can
mean
he sit and enter the information in the computer?
Yeah, I don't see an issue with that. Again, it's not acting as a town officer. You know, it's an employment position. You could hire a contractor to fill that temporarily. I don't see an issue with that.
Okay.
If it was a union
Wanna
job,
make
then
sure
that might
that
be
you
a
don't
problem.
have an issue with that, because he can come in and do the
Yeah.
Lansing system.
I have another client that has a CPA firm who comes in and handles a significant portion of their bookkeeping as a contractor.
So he was contacted on Thursday, and he said he would be available to come in. I don't know how many times he can come in. I'll contact him again tomorrow.
I didn't know that he was a one-man outfit, you know, if he's got,
He's not, I mean, he has, but he couldn't find anybody for us to use.
Okay.
So he said that he would he'd come in like he did before with Lori.
Right.
But my questions were, can he do the system? Can he do the Williamson system? Can he, I'm gonna have to print checks, deposit checks, all that stuff.
Yep.
So, okay, we'll try that. I mean, try it.
what else is on your list?
You don't want to. All right, no, let's go back. So, supervisor. Do you want me to be supervisor?
If you'll accept it, I will nominate.
We can operate under the format that we are right now and search for a supervisor.
I don't have a problem with doing the supervisor's position.
Okay?
I will do it. I will move forward. I think we need some stability in the town. I think we need to just try to get the positions filled back up, get another board member in here, and get a bookkeeper for the sake of all the employees. Because the situation we're in now makes all the employees in the town, their jobs harder. And Adam can contest to that. I mean, they can't get,
That I can.
so I just think we need to move forward with that. I will do the supervisor's position. If you guys want me to do the supervisor's position, I will do it.
I support it.
So that brings us to the next thing. I'm the only person on the signature cards as of right now. TSB needs to, our bank, we need to have a second person on those cards.
Oh, there, I don't know if we need to, but we've always
She's-
had to.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what she was saying. She said we needed to when I talked to her. So I said to hold off till after the meeting, so we can discuss it. And now with the bookkeeper con, the only other person that can access any of the accounts is Jody can just access the payroll, to move the money for payroll. And the ladies in Greg's office can do the water and sewer, deposits for the water and sewer accounts, just the deposits into it, correct?
Typically, it's been your deputy supervisor, I think, right?
Yes,
It's the
it's always-
supervisor deputy.
But before, I think you did it when Jim did the deputy supervisor thing, I think you did the signature card.
Yeah, because we didn't do the supervisor thing.
Yeah, because we were still doing, we were operating under a deputy supervisor and a thing, so whatever you want to do with that, I'm just throwing it out there, but.
I don't have any issue with doing the signature, the second signature on it. That's not an issue for me, but, the technical part of what we're talking about is you need to resign as a councilman
Yes,
and be appointed as a town supervisor, which pushes you into a special election next November.
yes. I understand that.
There's multiple years left on Mike's term, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I understand that.
No,
No,
well,
I already knew that, Ed. I knew,
well, I say that because.
because I'm still
we're
operating
having a
under deputy
conversation-
supervisor, councilman deputy supervisor right now. That's why I've been telling everybody, oh, you're I'm not supervisor. Just let's make that clear. We've gone through this before, deputy
Right.
supervisor.
It's just, for the process issue, you have to resign first before we can even make the motion to appoint you. Okay. So,
I resign. That's easy. No, you want
Well,
official letter?
well,
I mean, I can,
What is that process, Nate?
Well, some of it's based,
yeah,
do you trust me?
and I mean, yeah, Kevin should resign. He can just put it on a piece of paper and hand it to Adam, and it's done. And then you guys stage a coup, and but
and we pick somebody else. No.
Hey, that's even better. That works out better for me.
I'm just going through the process. I don't want, it doesn't even have to happen tonight as far as that goes, because nothing transfers as authority.
I want to do the signature cards.
Mhm.
Like she pushed me on that because I guess it gives me, when we do it, she can give me administrative. That's Mike had administrative credentials where we get a bookkeeper in here. I can get the bookkeeper onto the,
You're not on them now?
yes, I am on the signature cards
Okay.
right now.
So if I go down there tomorrow,
Yes.
okay.
Or you want me to just call her in the morning and,
Well, we had to do a resolution for that,
okay.
to put that person as a signature for the town.
well, TSB will want to see a certified action by Adam showing that.
Yes.
So if you do a motion tonight, I can put it into a form for Adam to certify that this was an action taken at the meeting tonight. He can sign that, fill it out tomorrow, and then give SB so that you're authorized as the second person.
Yeah, because I had to take that with me the last time.
Right.
Somebody should make that other than me.
What should I make? I mean, I don't think I should.
I make a motion to authorize Councilman Holbert to be a second signatory on the Tioga State Bank accounts.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I have none.
None.
None?
Okay.
Roll call?
Mr. Warden,
Aye.
Mr. Simonis,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert.
Aye.
You want to keep going with this, or do you want to,
Yeah, I would not mind.
Do we
keep
want to
going with-
resolve the supervisor position now?
We just Yeah,
I mean, we should.
yep.
So the process here, Nate, is,
Kevin was gonna submit his resignation to Adam, and then somebody's gonna make a motion to appoint Kevin.
You want me to write up the?
I do,
Okay.
just write it, hand it to him right.
While he's doing that, part of the resolution, the solution, not a motion resolution issue, is that the town either has to abolish the deputy supervisor or appoint a deputy supervisor. So Kevin will have 5 days to appoint a deputy supervisor. Or the town board then has to appoint it or abolish the position.
Okay, I'm a free man.
I'll read this for the record. To whom it may concern, I resign as councilman from the town of Shenango Town Board effective immediately. Thank you, Kevin Morton.
I make a motion to nominate Kevin Warden to serve as Town of Shenango Supervisor.
I'll second that.
Just it's an appointment.
I'm sorry, as an appointment. I appoint Kevin Warden to serve as Town of Shenango Supervisor.
I revise my second.
Any discussion?
None?
None.
I have none.
None.
Mr. Warden?
I abstain.
Mr. Simonis?
Oh,
Aye.
I'm not even on the board.
I was gonna say, aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Got that.
Congratulations, Kevin, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go.
All right.
Now we can move forward.
So Kevin, don't forget to file your oath of office for the new position.
That'll be with that. Yep, we'll
Yep.
do that. My question is, do you want to go over some of the other stuff or do you want to just continue with the agenda?
Well,
Some of them might be future board topics and stuff like that, so.
8.5, we can go through your stuff under Supervisor's Report.
Yes, we can. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we are done. Greg, you were all set?
I don't believe we talked about 8.1.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. We jumped. I'm sorry, we jumped. Go ahead.
You're fine.
Department reports.
In the report, I just added there, I was asked to do the key fobs. With Alex's help, we did the maps of the floor plans. On your desk, I don't know if I didn't send it or it never got added. Basically, if you look at anything that's orange is what we currently have. Anything that's purple is what either we wanted to add to the current fob list. There you'll also see a quote for adding, I believe it's the 13 fobs.
Greg, this did for me what I needed to be able to see,
Okay.
where things were and where they were being proposed, and I don't have any issue with putting them in the 13 location that we talked about.
Okay.
But that's,
Yeah, I think it looks good. That was very helpful, having the floor plan.
It looks good from what I'm looking at now. I'm sorry, haven't really been.
I would just like to see this given to Keystone for their information.
Okay.
Because some of this just ties into the secure vestibule concept.
Yep.
of where things are. So that's all, just to give it to them to make sure that everything is coordinated when they do their final design.
Okay. I do have one more thing to add, though, in my report. The building condition studies were done. That lasted about a day and a half. So we're just waiting on the report from the vendor that we chose.
Okay. Can I throw something at you?
Sure.
The post office in Castle Creek is looking back at the old building up there. Was that part of your condition study?
No.
The old storage building?
Yeah, yes, in Castle Creek.
The old storage building that
The-
Darren stored?
The three garages, yes. That was, yes. But I thought they were going on the other side of the street.
They were looking at our existing building. This
That-
is all stuff we can talk about later on an agenda,
The
but I
Castle
just,
Creek buildings were in the condition study, yes.
okay, well, that's good to know.
Yes.
We'll have to get together on that, and talk on
I
that.
haven't received back the information.
Okay.
So as soon as I have it, I'll get it to the board.
Greg, I see there's a Century Alarms quote or proposal. Are you asking the board to approve that at a future meeting?
Yeah. Well, we'll need a resolution, so yes, I would assume.
Okay, we can do that at the next meeting?
Uh, Does that fall under the RFP policy, or is Century our vendor?
That's a good question.
I believe the town currently uses Sentry for its security system presently, and having the same vendor provide all of your security
So they-
system solutions would make sense.
Right, because they do the monitoring is what I'm asking.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
That's effectively like a single,
Yeah, but
You know.
This is a funny area.
yeah.
we split it up before with installation of equipment. When we did this room, we got quotes from Century and from the vendor who actually ended up putting them in, and it wasn't Century, but it tied into the.
Because
what was
I'm
it?
assuming these systems are compatible.
They have to buy the proprietary equipment to
For
go
that,
for
okay.
that.
If multiple vendors are able to buy the same proprietary equipment, then we should be following procurement policy and putting this out. You know, arguably it's Public Works, so, well, it falls underneath the $30,000 threshold though, because it's $28,600. But I don't know if Greg got multiple quotes or proposals, because it is
Well,
above
the dollar amount would fall under the
Right,
RFP policy.
right.
We've used Century for all of the FOPs, so I just assumed that we.
No, I get it.
And it may be, this may be something that falls within there, but if we can use this quote, I don't have any issue with moving forward with it, but I just want to have you go through the procurement policy to see if
So Greg and I will sit down at some
that
point
help?
tomorrow to review
Yeah.
the procurement policy. If we need to go out and get some additional quotes, Greg, we should be able to do that in time for the next meeting, and then at the next meeting, have a resolution awarding to whomever, whatever the work is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, either way.
yeah.
Okay?
I believe I'm done.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay, 8.2 Ordinance Report. Diane? Oh, yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Any questions for Renee's back there?
I don't.
I don't have any questions.
No questions, Renee. Looks good. Okay, dog control, 8.3 Dog Control Report. Everybody see that? Upside down, but
Yeah.
Yes.
I took
saw
the-
it.
I have no questions.
no questions on that? Okay. All right, 8.4 Attorney's Report.
Apologies for not putting this in writing to you folks. My Thursday when I normally, I'm coming up with excuses again, but my Thursday was taken up when I normally put my report together for you to get it on the agenda. So tended office hours on the 2nd and the 9th. Alex and I had a video conference with a potential applicant for rezoning to a PDD. That person is still at the drawing board in some fashion for what they're gonna potentially propose. I'm not sure if they're going to submit an application or not prior to your meeting on the 27th to consider a moratorium or afterwards, but that's on them. Circulated the draft moratorium documents to the county and the neighboring townships. Talked with you guys a lot about a certain individual's resignation as supervisor. Attended the planning board meeting, that was just last night. Responded to an FMLA leave question and reviewed and commented on the Wallace Road contractor's contract. Had no issues with that. That's my report.
Okay. He can't answer any questions right now, sorry. Any questions tonight from the board?
I have none.
I do have a question about, you mentioned the planning board meeting last night, and one of the comments during the open forum was about the planning board meetings and the additional meetings that are there. And it's my understanding that those special meetings have a fee associated with them?
They are not.
There's,
They're not special meetings. These were meetings that the chairman of the board decided that they needed. I was gonna discuss that in the supervisors. For capacity. I can bring the whole thing up and
okay,
supervisors if you wanna talk about it.
okay. No, my thought was that it was a special meeting that was paid for by an applicant.
It's
And,
not.
and if it's not a special meeting, then there's no extra money. So we discuss it
Okay.
under your report. Okay?
Okay. All right, 8.5 Supervisors Report. Everybody see the September financials? These are signed by Mike in the Supervisors Report financials.
Yep.
Okay. All right, then let's go over stuff.
Well, just, did anybody see the stuff from Mike? Because I didn't, so I need to know where it was. The stuff that goes with his financials for the budget for next week?
I did not.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know if I missed it.
I'm gonna look for the folder up there tomorrow, see if there's something. There's gotta be. Everybody submitted what they needed, so. But there's no, I didn't get anything or see anything for the tentative budget, why the reasoning for each line.
Got it. Nope,
Okay.
and that's what I was looking for.
I know.
Yep, okay.
What? Could. Okay. All right, we
Yeah, I
discussed.
just wasn't gonna do it if it went out and I missed it. That's all. Okay.
We'll look. Okay, so we took care of that. Did you, Constellation Energy, did you see the email from Jody? We have to renew, if we want to renew our contract with Constellation Energy November 1st, by November 1st.
Last time we did this, we took the middle option, just because we didn't know what the future was gonna be. I recall, I was on the board then.
So was it 5-year? Did we do a 5-year?
Couldn't have been, because I haven't been on for 5 years.
Okay. I can dig more into this and put it on the agenda for the 29th, since we'd have to make a decision on the 29th. Because it was just thrown at me today, I don't,
In the meantime, I have, between Dave and I, we can go back to
Yeah.
the correspondences that we've got to support how we came up with the decision the last time for the meeting.
okay. Because the only thing I was told, that rates are gonna go way up if we don't continue the contract, but I don't know that, I'm just going by what I was told.
Yep.
We can I'll research it so I can call this person too and have it on the agenda for 29th. Okay, Darren's got new plow trucks coming in, and we were supposed to be bond shopping for him, for a bond for the trucks. Is it 1 or 2? One truck. The bond shopping wasn't done. We need to do it. Trucks are on their way. Truck is on its way. And Joy volunteered to do it. We just need board approval to let her do it. Shop for the bond for his new truck.
I don't know what that means.
So there were bond resolutions done. I don't even remember when, right? But a year or 2 or 3 ago, whatever it was.
Bond resolution that was done at the beginning of the year for this truck
wouldn't be surprised if TSB gives you a pretty competitive rate, given
Yeah.
that's where your banking is.
It's just,
I have no issue with Joy going out and doing that.
that's all I'm asking, is
Yeah.
if you have any problem with Joy
Nope.
doing that for our time being.
Nope, as long as she's working with you on it, because if there's gotta be signatures or there's
Yeah.
approvals or stuff like that.
Yep.
Darren,
all.
when, do you know when the truck's gonna get delivered?
So I just found out today it's in Syracuse, so within the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, the plow and wain are sitting on in the lot right now.
And they expect payment within 30 days of delivery?
Roughly, yeah. So I mean, it's gonna take a couple of weeks, I think, to secure that once we say yes. I believe the general bank, I don't know 100%.
Okay.
It took longer than that to do it the last time,
Took a while.
yeah.
Oh, it did.
It's not a weak issue,
So we can get Joy on that tomorrow.
yeah.
As long as you approve it, you'll do it tomorrow.
Do
Yes,
we need a
thank-
motion to prove that, or is it okay?
No, it's just getting
Hey.
quotes.
Board is good with that?
Thank you, Darren. Would she be all right to choose the one as long as we got a close rate? Is that okay to get it?
As long as we see it all.
As long,
Yeah,
I want eyes on all of the.
as long as all the information is presented to the board and we can put it, so.
Make a recommendation.
yeah, the board will choose the bank at probably the next meeting if you get the information, and then that's
Yeah.
2 weeks from now. We can put the bond docs together after that.
With the budget being done in next week, if we get it done by Friday, can we do it, send it to you by that, to get it done on the budget time? One as well, when we prepare our budget?
You mean at the October 21st meeting?
Yeah.
No, no, I don't want to add anything to the 21st, but.
It's not on the, we didn't decide to put that on the agenda for that meeting, that.
That's fine, I just thought budget was part of my budget.
I mean, you can discuss it. You could discuss it when we discuss the budget, your budget. You know what I'm saying? We can,
You're fine, I just didn't want to rush, because we could have rushed that. Oh, we'll do it. We'll let you know. Thank you.
okay, thank you. You see my email from Harris? I'm sorry, this stuff came in late today and I forwarded it to all you guys.
I didn't see it.
Okay, that's something I'm gonna have to find out where we're gonna get that in.
Which one is it?
Harris, Lindenfeld,
Kevin,
was forwarded from me.
from,
Yes.
You looked at it.
Yes, I did see that.
I'm looking at all the ones that I got from you. And they came today.
3:40 this afternoon.
We
The
could
pump
do an
station?
executive session on it, if you wanna talk about it,
Said three.
At the end of the meeting.
at the end of the meeting, is what I'm saying, at the end we can do.
Oh, is this okay, all right.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so the planning board. So they decided to do some extra meetings for the solar farms at Shenango Fork Schools. And they are not special meetings that are being paid by the applicant to do. The board chairman decided and the board voted for it to do these special meetings. The ordinance office decided that it's a lot of extra work for them. They decided that they could do they could do the regular meeting and the solar meeting at the same time and not have 2 meetings in 1 month. But I don't know who makes the decision on that.
So the payment of the members is per meeting.
Per meeting, so
So,
we can pay them for there's not enough money in that budget line to pay for the extra meetings.
right,
My recommendation was that it be presented to you as a budget modification request, identifying where the monies should come from, allocating it to that line if the department head agrees that it's appropriate, and, I mean, I don't know if Diane's still here, but, I mean, happy to help her. I know that she and Renee have another couple of budget modifications that they're
Yes.
going to be requesting.
I'm more concerned about added workload for the meeting, for the staff, for preparation of the meetings, and my preference is to just move their regularly scheduled meeting to the night of the Shenango Forks meeting.
The planning board did discuss that, and Renee, did they vote to do that last night? Or no, we were gonna wait to see what, they were gonna wait to see what happened on October 27th
Did they vote?
before
They voted.
deciding to do one meeting on the last Monday of every month.
They didn't,
They held off on voting or making that decision.
it is a lot of extra work for Renee and Diane, and it's also extra money out of their budget lines.
So they voted to do 2 meetings a month. For how long?
So the initial discussion was 2 meetings a month, the normal meeting night for anything non-solar, the fourth Monday of every month at the high school for the solar projects. After the board had that discussion, voted to do that, Renee pointed out some of these concerns. The board acknowledged that, agreed, yeah, you know what, those are problems. There was some concern by the board that the high school auditorium audio was not working. Renee brought up out, and so that's hopefully resolved. But the planning board did not take action to move their normal meeting to the fourth Monday of every month at the meeting last night, because if you folks do adopt a moratorium, then they don't see a need to move their normal meeting night anymore.
Were
And-
these meetings going long? Was that the concern, is to add time?
The issue was the size of the crowd. This room
But
was
my
over
point is, if you
capacity.
did 1 meeting a month at the auditorium, could all the business be done in the normal meeting time?
Depends on what you mean by normal meeting time. You know,
Within a couple of hours?
yeah,
What
2,
did
3,
it take
4
the last-
hours would
Was it an hour, Renee?
probably do it.
Was it an hour the last time?
It was close to 2 hours.
Hour and 12 minutes. Okay.
So the other piece that wasn't present at that meeting, it was just a public hearing on one solar project. The developer was not there, the developer did not present, and there was no substantive discussion about the application by the planning board. It was a carryover of a prior, ongoing public hearing. The public got another chance to provide their comments on the project. So, when there's an actual substantive review of the solar projects, it's gonna take another hour or 2 on top of the expected public comment period, would be my expectation.
Number-wise, we had around 140 attendees.
Well, I guess without actually having the recommendation from the chairman of the planning board on what they want, I don't wanna sit here and make a decision for them.
Yeah, they held off on voting to do something because they wanted to see, again, if you folks enact a moratorium, they're not gonna need to have solar project meetings going forward. Those will be all
Okay,
tabled
so at this
until-
point, it's just information for us. There's really no decision for us to make at this point.
Yeah, they've been paid so far for every meeting that they've attended.
Basically, we're aware of that. They've got 2 meetings kind of tentatively planned for the foreseeable future unless we do something different regarding the moratorium.
Two extra meetings. So I don't know what your budget was, right? If you budgeted just 12 planning board meetings, in which case they might have already hit all 12 planning board meetings. So there's gonna be at least 2 more planning board meetings this year. So they probably do need some additional funding for the 2 regular meetings in November and December.
I can work with the department head on that.
Yeah, we've gotta have the numbers before and a resolution to do it. And we just need to do it before we write those checks, cause we can't go Can't
And
go over.
that was where my recommendation was, working with Diane to put together a budget modification request as the backup and
She was
present it
just
to you.
concerned, I talked to her about it today, and she was concerned that there was no, just like you said, recommendation from the chairman of the board to do this. Why is she doesn't have the right to request this extra money without something set like he's requesting. That's what I said, he should request to her, she's the department head, that
Or
made this
even to the
decision.
town board.
the town board, but
Right.
to make this decision to do this.
Because,
Well,
We
so-
need the
so
chairman of the
The
planning board.
The planning
to-
board did vote to schedule extra meetings already.
Okay.
The extra meetings are scheduled as of this point because they've not
But
pulled
is
those
there a
extra meetings
request
back.
for additional?
well,
That's
No,
the
there-
part that we're
there
not
wasn't.
seeing, right.
and
So we don't know what that is, because I'm assuming, just judging because of this conversation, they've exhausted their 12-meeting budget.
I think so. Well, I can tell you from the meeting last night, they would like to get paid for their attendance at meetings.
They got paid.
Yeah.
No one,
No, no,
no one
no, I know.
hasn't got paid yet.
I know that.
Well,
Uh,
I
but-
agree with you, you should get paid for everything you work, so.
Well, I understand that, but the planning board as an entity does not have the authority to spend town money. So they can't just schedule meetings and then get
I
paid for that.
understand that, that's why I'm saying, I think the planning board chairman needs to present something to say, what is that gonna be? What are those extra funds? They almost, because they planned on going forward with it, it doesn't sound like they have. They haven't exhausted anything beyond their budget yet, have they?
I don't have the specific numbers. I'm just
I
going
don't believe
based
they
off of.
exhausted their budget.
Right.
Right.
So I think right now, this is an information piece, and there should be a request from them
Yeah,
for
and-
additional funds.
And I would anticipate then at the October 27th meeting, they will, 29th, no, 27th, 29th, whatever the date is,
29.
they will be making that request at that meeting.
Well, I would ask that it come in sooner so that that can get coordinated with a resolution, so we don't see the ask on the 29th for the agenda. Get into a conversation about having doing a budget resolution number and resolution and it go out another 2 weeks and then holding up checks for people for performing the work, cause I don't want that to stop.
I will
Yeah, that-
contact Mr. Donnelly tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, budget meeting, October 21st.
Yep.
None of the department heads have been notified, and a schedule has not been put together when they should report. I can go forward that tomorrow. I did not go forward with it until the board, I was not gonna step on
Okay.
until, but as I was informed by department heads today, they were never notified.
Okay, so
Yeah, please do.
Do you have any preference of who you want to go first, or how you want to do it?
my preference is that we follow the budget, we follow the proposed budget.
The only issue with that you know is like someone like Greg is all over that budget.
I know that.
Darren's all over, well, not all, 2 different spots in that budget.
Yep.
But like, the judge would only be in that first section. Ordinance would only be in the first section.
Yep.
Do
General
you wanna
fund,
try to go
highway,
right down?
water, and sewer.
Try to go right down the, okay,
That's my preference, but
Okay.
we're having a discussion, so
Yep.
however,
But are they all gonna be there all day, all meeting long? Just like you just said, we don't know when we're gonna call on them, and I don't know how much time we're gonna have on each department to schedule them when to come in.
it's tough to schedule them,
Yeah,
but I can tell them an idea where they are on the thing, I mean, I
We've
can't
got-
tell them what time.
we've got about a half an hour to 45 minutes on general fund, and about a half an hour on highway. Water and sewer is gonna take another probably hour, because we're gonna have the discussion on how his proposed rates go up. So what time are we starting at, 2?
2.
2? So just do them in hours, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
After that, you get the fire district.
You want me to contact the 3 fire districts, or the 3 fire departments? There's 2 fire districts, 3 fire departments.
Is the time we discuss on each department up to us when it ends?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's our discussion, and they're gonna be here if we've got questions about what they presented.
Yes.
So, yes.
I have been informed that a lot of the what's in the tentative budget was not what the department heads asked for. So if we don't get that backup information why that's in there, we're gonna have to spend a little bit more time with the department heads to decide what they want in their lines. Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna try to look for that.
Schedule an hour each,
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
and
Yep.
then this is just a question, when we do Greg's water and sewer operating, that there's two under the special districts. Incorporate those special districts into that conversation, so we get through that at the same time, because that's really where your increases are gonna be coming, under the special districts, not the operating for the water and the sewer.
I would assume when we get to Greg on the general, we're just gonna do all his stuff, right?
That's what I'm at, that's
Yeah,
what I'm asking.
that's what I would guess, right? We're just gonna go through your water, and then you got your funds. You
Yeah.
have your water and sewer districts, and then you have your water and sewer funds.
I was just confused on the special district part.
I think he means funds, your funds.
Well, the budget is set up in 8 different sections. And 9, because I forgot about the lighting district. But we've got the 4, the general fund, highway, water, and sewer. And then we've got the 5 special districts. I would expect that we would be talking about the special districts when we're talking about the funds,
Your
the
water.
budget for those up top, right? The board.
What are the special districts that you're referring to? You just tell me one, to know.
Lighting district,
That has nothing to do with water and sewer.
right.
So then you want
There's
me-
also there's also a special district for the sewer, there's a special district for the water, and 2 special districts for the fire.
But you gotta remember that I only do the 2s and the 4s. If there's a .1 or any of the special stuff, Greg doesn't do those, just as an FYI. I only do the 2s and the 4s. .2s and .4, just an FYI. So, I'll be happy to discuss it if I have the information, but I don't, just so you're aware.
That's not what I understood, Greg, so we'll just have the conversation at the meeting,
Sure.
okay?
Let's look at it tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. You see, I sent you the email on the ordinance office, the redistribution of funds. They put a request in a little while ago, and it never got to the board. They want to move some funds around between their lines. So. Probably forwarded it to you, it was from Renee.
What time was that today? The email?
That one was 3:43.
Okay.
Yep, 343 I sent to you. There's just a request.
This is just redistribution, right, Kevin?
Yep, redistribution inside the ordinance department.
I don't have an issue with this.
We just gotta do resolutions to.
Yeah, just,
Okay, I just want to,
Yeah.
so we'll get a resolution for that for the next meeting. To move that, and hopefully, if we have anything else, we can talk at the next meeting. All right, the cyber insurance from Smith Brothers, did you see the email on that? If you didn't, try to put it on next agenda. Apparently we're not covered for cyber attacks through our insurance company. They're offering us coverage.
Yeah, Kevin, I need to read through this.
Yeah, I figured you
Yeah.
did, I just was thrown at me today. But do you want it on the next agenda? Or do you not?
Yes,
Okay.
and I can tell you, I'm gonna call them for my next quote, because I'm paying more for mine than this whole town's paying. But I understand the difference too, so.
Adam presented me with a DOT use permit to sign, but this was before I was supervisor, so I didn't want to sign it because I didn't know if I should. It's for the bell.
Yeah, it has to do with the bell down on Route 12 that we own, but it's state DOT land. They just need something signed from us to keep that going.
Is it
We-
is it in our email to look at?
Did you send that?
I asked him, do you have it? I asked,
Did you send that, Adam?
No, I just talked to Kevin about it. This is something I would just traditionally just have Mike sign and move on.
Mike would traditionally just sign them. I just didn't because I wasn't supervisor.
I can go grab it. I know right where it is.
Didn't know.
Give me a minute.
Well,
Do you want to see it? I'll put it on for the 10/29.
yeah,
Okay.
I just don't know what it is.
I don't even know what the ask is.
All right, just
Yeah.
put it on for the 29th.
Sure.
We'll just put it on the
That's
20.
just put it, yeah, that's simple.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
simple. We'll put it.
Okay.
Because we couldn't do anything with it. We couldn't even donate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently, I don't think we had a DOT use permit to have it there. I think that's what this is.
Oh, okay.
Granting us permit to do it there. Okay, so the last one is I talked to the assessor today. Catherine was in, she's in on Wednesdays. I don't believe she'll be here for the budget because she's only in on Wednesdays. I mentioned it, didn't really. So, anyways, she's requesting to hire a deputy assessor or clerk. We call it a clerk, she would call it a deputy assessor. She wants to hire a person at eight hours a week at $25 an hour for 6 to 8 months. She's buried right now. So really, she has the money in her line. She has a line with $25,000 in it and personnel line that she hasn't used. And I know it looked like she had it, Mike had it in the budget going forward for next year to cover that. She has 2 people that have just recently left another town that are both certified. And she would like to pick one of them. I don't know, I said I would just bring it to the board and
I remember the conversation where it was going to be a need for a short period of time, not a permanent need, so.
yep, that's what she said, 6 to 8 months.
I don't remember it being 6 to 8 months in the conversation when she was hired on it, but that's not, I'm just
Yeah, that's-
saying what it was, but if it's in the budget for it, then town board just needs to look at what it is. I don't know if she has the authority to pick one. If it's a deputy assessor, if she has that authority to pick one and we just have to approve that by resolution, or if it's actually interviews and she has to get certified or
And that's what I said.
civil
to her.
service.
I pulled out the interview policy or the hiring policy, and I don't know if it's like the clerk, if she can pick her and just tell us, we have to okay the money. Or if we have to do interviews.
Yeah.
She said the interviews are gonna be useless because no one's gonna have the assessor certification or to do it. So these people do.
Yeah.
I just don't know that. I'm not, I'm just giving it to the board.
The pool is gonna be small,
Very small.
but I also wanna do it sooner rather than later so that they don't become somebody else's and then can't,
That was what she was hinting at.
yeah.
I think it would be a benefit to the,
I think Nate's gonna have to check it out.
And that's what he's doing.
So, let's
so he's looking at that. I really don't, that's fine for tonight. We can move forward.
Okay.
I think the most important thing is we have our budget meeting on the 21st is to get everybody lined up, and hopefully I can find some type of backup material that we can go forward with that.
So I know Jody and Mike did send out, like, everybody's compiled, presented budget.
Yes.
Yes, we got those.
So, okay, so
Okay.
at least we have that.
Okay. So we are waiting for Nate, or he wants to move on?
Well, so I'm leaning towards, you may authorize the appointment of deputies for any appointment, and that would include the assessor. But that's leaning towards it, so I'm still looking.
Okay.
Well, why don't we at least put it, in our thought process that we can do it at the next meeting?
Okay.
To make an appointment, if we're allowed.
Yeah. But I would wanna see a letter from her
Yes, I said that too.
if we can do
With
the
a name,
appointment.
with an application, and
If there's two applicants, both of them, she wants this one over that one, and what it is, and what the salary is, and make sure it's within our budget, and we can move forward with it.
Yep.
That would speed it up.
okay. That we can do. All right. I know it's not on here, but were we supposed to discuss the moratorium?
We were supposed to set the public hearing date.
Public hearing date.
Yep.
And we had the discussion that we would do that ahead of the planning board scheduled meeting at the Shenango Forks Auditorium
Yes,
at 5 o'clock,
on the 27th.
27th, that's what it was.
That was just a suggestion. I thought we already did it.
I thought you, by motion, set the public hearing at the last meeting. I think tonight was if you folks had any comments, changes to the draft law, you would provide
Oh.
those to me tonight or before tonight.
No, you're right. We did it.
So the meeting is set for the 27th.
Yep.
At the auditorium at 5 o'clock. When does that get posted?
It'll be posted, needs to be posted on the signboard, the website, at least 10 days before the meeting, and published in the newspaper at least 10 days before the meeting. So if Adam hasn't sent it off to the newspaper yet, then it
Oh, I
needs-
set it out, yeah.
You did send it out?
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay.
Okay, we'll put it on the website then.
As I recall, we started at 5. We were worried about people weren't gonna make the meeting, so we're gonna keep it open for at least another.
It was worded as the hearing will be held between 5 and 6:30 and end no earlier than 6:30 and stay open for as long as people are there to keep talking.
Right.
In a nutshell.
And that people come in and out quietly, they don't have to be there at 5, they can come in at 5:30, 5:45, whenever they get out of work. And that we would keep it open as long as there were residents there to voice their concerns or voice their support.
Well, yes, but the one item that, I've got in my notes that from our discussion, about the, use and area variance. That was the only part of this that the resolution did not have area variances in it. And we discussed that you wanted it in there or not.
The draft I think I circulated did include area variances, because you guys discussed what you wanted.
Oh, this is the draft from the meeting that didn't have it, so the one that got posted does.
It should, let me just double check.
Yeah, I thought it did too.
Okay.
Well,
I guess the
certainly
only-
mentions area variances.
Does it? The only comment that I want to make right now, since we're talking about it, is some of the comments from the open forum section about it. I'm not trying to be critical of it being of the concern about the solar farm, but my position is it is not a solar farm moratorium, and I think it's important that the distinction is made that it's not, from my point of view. The moratorium is being proposed while we're in the comprehensive plan process to review our ordinances and to review what the zoning regulations and the uses are for the comprehensive plan. And it encompasses the special permits, the area variances, the use variances, and just those very specific issues. I understand that solar farms are a special permit issue that fall underneath this, but I just think it's important that we're not just accepting that concept that it's specific to solar farms, because I think that would be a mistake.
But it includes them.
Yes, it does.
I was kind of surprised on what Nate put together there, that he did bring them out. He kind of singled them out with solar and variance changes, because I thought we discussed before we might get in trouble if we do single things out, certain aspects of the.
So that's in the purpose and intent clause, you know, in identifying why is helpful in supporting the rationale. And I mean, I think it's accurate to say, and let me, you guys correct me, this is just my perception of your thought process, but if you disagree, we can change it. But again, due to the significant, now I'm just reading from the purpose and intent clause, there's been a significant increase in interest by solar developers in siting commercial solar facilities within the town, and recent proposals to rezone land for more intensive residential and commercial use. The town has also experienced a notable number of applications for area variances related to lot size, lot width, accessory structure size, and accessory structure location. And you are updating your comprehensive plan. The idea being, you know, because these actions may affect, if approved, while you're updating your comprehensive plan, the overall nature and pattern of development within the town, without an updated comprehensive plan, that creates risks to loss of important local resources of value, potential conflicts between residents, existing uses, and new development. So you find and determine that a moratorium on these things, which are special permits, use and area variances, is appropriate while you update the comprehensive plan.
I just, the one part of this that's, Nate, that I don't want to see as a technicality on anything is the special use permit and the special permits that are in our code. And because of the way that the definitions are in those codes, I really think that this needs to say special use permits and special permits to cover it all.
We can certainly add the phrase, well, so when you look at section 4 definitions, it defines special use permit under the moratorium as any permit issued by the town board, planning board, or zoning board authorizing the use of land or structure not otherwise permitted by right under the zoning code. If something is subject to a special permit or a special use permit, which I view those as interchangeable terms, it is not allowed, or not, it is not permitted immediately by right, because you have to go through the special permitting process. But Gene, if you wanna add, you know, the phrase, you know, anything termed a special use permit or special permit under the town code, I don't have an issue with that. You know, I'd rather be belts, suspenders, and hold my pants up than, you know, rely on one thing.
I'd like to see it in there, but I do appreciate your point on this definition being specific to this local law, and I understand how that ties it all in. But under that first section of, first paragraph of section 4, I would like to see special permits added.
Yeah, so I could say, you know, this is the definition of special use permit for the local law. Any permit, including special permits and special use permits, comma, issued by the blah, 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 blah.
And you think it's better there than just adding special permits in the sentence above it?
We can do both. Well, so special use permit becomes a defined term, which would be used in the definition of moratorium.
Right. That's why I said I understand your point for this local law. I'm going back to the town code as it exists, our ordinance laws. And they have two separate definitions for special permits and special use permits. I just didn't want it to get confusing. I didn't want a loophole in there for either one.
So I'll say under, again, I think adding it under special use permit is the first place to put it. So it'll be any permit, comma, including special use permits and special permits as those terms are used in the town's code. And then, comma, issued by the town board, planning board, zoning board of appeals, authorizing use of land or structure not otherwise permitted by right under the zoning code. And then, Gene, you're suggesting under the definition of moratorium, a temporary suspension of the receipt, consideration, review, approval, or issuance of permits or approvals for zoning changes, special use permits, and this would be the add, and special permits.
It would, yeah, the way that I was looking at it is that sentence, special use permits, comma, special permits, comma, and use and area variances.
Yep, okay.
So we're looking at this moratorium based off of just the comprehensive plan. And my problem with it is I feel like we're using a net just to grab everything along. And I do have a problem with the time period. I think 12 months and 2 potential 6 months extensions are pretty excessive, especially for everything we're talking about. I would like to look at this moratorium more towards our solar law to adjust the issues that we have there. I've read through our solar law, and I do have a lot of concerns. And I would like to have that updated, but to use an all-encompassing potential net, if you will, to create a moratorium for potentially 2 years seems excessive to me.
I don't see the 2-year deal in here.
We could potentially vote for 2 years. It's an automatic 12 months with 2 additional 6-month periods.
Take that out.
But even on the 12 months, I've got to struggle with that. And I realize we're trying to coordinate that with our comprehensive plan.
Well, you're spending $150,000 on our comprehensive plan, and that is not doing this town justice.
I understand that, but
I-
as different projects come to this board,
They
We
don't
do
come to
have
this
the
board.
ability. Well, you're right, because we have punted the solar decision, for example, to the planning board.
Always have.
I know, and personally, I find that as a mistake. Just because, to me, industrial electrical generation, you can put whatever name you want on it, whether it's a farm or a field, doing it in residential areas, I think is a mistake.
You've got issues right now that is a use issue in this town. So not extending it to variances for uses, it supports your argument, and you want to take that out.
I'm not looking to necessarily, Gene, I'm not looking to take this out. What I'm looking to do is to say that my concern is that we have a net to essentially shut down a lot of potential projects, if you will, two that could be potentially coming before us, and I'm not sure how this board's gonna vote, but two projects coming before us that we're gonna ask them to sit out for the next 12 months. Those are just two. The other, I don't even know what else is in the pipeline, and I'm saying that I just don't think that's the right approach.
I absolutely disagree with you, because those are issues that this moratorium would not affect anything, any project, any development that would be in a permitted use on a property that somebody wanted to do. It only
And some of
pertains-
those properties are very limited, in my opinion.
Absolutely, but that's what the planning has been with those.
I understand that.
And it has been abused, and it has been,
There's no question about it, but there is a comprehensive plan that it was done, I believe, back in 2014, 2015, 2016, I don't have the year right. But there's a comprehensive plan there, and previous boards or zoning boards, whatever, town officials haven't done anything to implement very much of it. You know, I don't know if any has been implemented or not, but there is a comprehensive plan in place today. Yes, we're looking to, perhaps it'll change dramatically, perhaps it won't, I don't know that. And yes, we're gonna spend $150,000 to have a third party come in and do a comprehensive plan that may or may not mirror the one we have.
I'm not gonna support this without those in there. It does nothing for this town to protect the residents of this town with one of those, that.
I 100% want to protect the residents of this town, and
You're
I
not
do
doing
see
it, but
issues
you're
with our
not doing
local
it
laws
that
that
way.
are not doing that.
Yeah. And you've got to draw the line in the sand somewhere, and you've got to make a decision.
I don't disagree. But 12 months to put everybody off, and believe me, it's a struggle for me, because I do see certain laws that I have an issue with that could potentially have me support this. But I think it's a mistake, because it's all encompassing. It encompasses too much, in my opinion.
I have to agree. Like I said last meeting, it's too vague, too long. It's not needed. We got a comprehensive plan in place. We do the research, then you put the moratorium in if you want to make big changes. After the new comprehensive plan is all tabulated.
Then you don't understand the process, Dave, because once the comprehensive plan is in place, those are the rules that we follow by. And we haven't done that since 2016.
I would say you're right, but we haven't done any changes on the previous comprehensive plan. It just
exactly.
keeps on rolling and
Exactly.
rolling, so why do we keep on
because
doing the same thing?
Because doing it wrong again and again and again is not the right path.
I agree.
And I am absolutely more in support of protecting the town residents, what they want and what we're gonna do. And I can't see irresponsibly spending $150,000 on a comprehensive plan and
That's not
allowing.
irresponsible.
No,
Spending
no, no.
$150,000 to do a new comprehensive plan,
And not.
the old one,
No,
even by,
what's irresponsible is that we are not protecting the process. And we're gonna go the next 12 months and spend $150,000 and come up with a plan of what the next 10 years is like, and we're gonna let all the crap and all the stuff that's been going on all the way up through for the next 12 months to just happen, like nothing.
how would we
nothing is
allow that to
changing.
happen? If each one of those come before the board and we vote no on those individual projects, how does that just happen?
Because they don't all come before the board.
The only thing that comes before the board, the only action that the board has
It's a zoning change.
is the PDD zone. That's it. Everything else goes to the planning board. 100%.
And so a moratorium blocks anything the planning board can do.
No. No, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, anything that would require a variance or a special permit.
A special,
Or-
a
yeah.
special permit, a use variance, and an area variance. Yes.
I'm very concerned about the time period.
So it's 12 months. We have a contract with
I,
with a vendor, with a professional service to have it done in 12 months. I don't see where that extension of 6 months in 2 years or another 12 years.
but it's in
coming
there.
in. Take it out.
I mean, I'm good with taking it out, but again, I'm concerned about shutting down other projects that potentially could come before us. I just feel that reading this is a very broad net.
It is specific to the issues that a comprehensive plan deals with. I would have a big problem with just stopping all development, because you've got residents that want to build on their
Yeah,
property. You want commercial property, you want to build a business. It doesn't matter if it's a permitted use, and that's what they bought it for, and that's what they're intended to do for it. That's not stopping any of that. Where we've gotten into, we've given variances out for area variances and signs and use variances and special permits, and it goes through all that other process, and it's all inconsistent with what we have had in our comprehensive plan. That's what we need to stop.
So the planning board isn't following the comprehensive plan we currently have in place.
No. And neither is the zoning board.
Both boards are extensions of this board.
Yes. As far as a transfer of authority and power, yes.
I do believe that some of those decisions need to come back to this board, and I will keep talking about that.
And that
Because
could be-
there is,
that
there
could be
are,
part
there are
of the
specific
issue with the
projects
con-
right now that having go to an appointed board at the planning board, I just think is punting a very sensitive issue. And I don't find that as protecting town residents. It's just my opinion.
So the process is, we're gonna have a public meeting on whatever date it is, up to Shenango
27.
Forks.
27.
We listen to it, and then we're gonna have this discussion again, right?
Yes.
I hope so. I wanna hear what the,
And I do
People have to
too,
say,
Dave.
yeah.
Absolutely. I would just encourage everyone to come, because I do want to hear from the residents regarding this issue, so I would encourage everyone to come.
Well, I challenge you to make sure that when you listen to the residents, you hear what they say and you take it into account. Because you heard from 9 of them tonight, and you heard from 12 of them in the last month and a half of what their position is on it. And it's not gonna change significantly between now and the 27th. And both Dave and Jay, you are not supporting it. So you can say you wanna listen to the residents.
it was the same way with you. You're just picking on us, but you got your mind made up too.
I don't have my, into this,
Kinda sounds like you do.
Regardless,
I don't like you
we
saying-
all agree that we're
don't-
moving
don't-
forward with the public hearing.
I don't have my
Okay?
mind made up.
And we're
Don't-
moving
don't
forward
say
with
I
the
got my
public
mind
hearing.
made up.
Make a motion to stop discussion on this.
I'll second.
Okay.
Make a roll call.
Mr. Sponis? Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
What are we,
Stop discussion.
aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay. Moving forward, future board topics. Oh, I'm sorry, no, we're going resolutions. Whew, he had me off.
Oh, yeah?
We gotta get these done. All right.
Uh,
9.1.
Resolution approving abstract number 20.
I don't know if we discussed this now or not, but
What?
maybe, no, go ahead. Future topics, forget it.
Okay.
Good.
Resolution approving abstract 20.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
Resolution approving abstract number 21.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
Okay.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
And finally, a resolution authorizing stipend for interim department head for the building code and ordinance department.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
Just thank you for her to do it.
Thank you, Diane.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mi-
roll call.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay, 10.1, future board topics.
Do we still have a position open in the zoning board? Or absentee, since Alita is no longer there? Do we have to appoint somebody?
I don't know, but I can call Mr. Brewster. I believe that there is, because didn't we move the temporary, or the,
I don't know, did we?
I can check into that tomorrow.
Adam, do you have access to that board list?
Pardon me?
Do you have access to the board list?
Let's see here.
I kind of remember moving gosh, I forgot his name. We did that a ways back.
Was this ZBA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have Dan Walters, Ed Miller, Jim Brewster, John White, Scott Smith.
That's it?
I know we had a recommendation to move Mr. Walters up from alternate to on the board, but I don't know if we did it.
Okay.
I believe so.
We can find out.
Yep.
December. For Walters? Is that what you said?
We're replacing Alita.
It's a promotion of Dan Walters.
Look at it. Did we do it? Was it a resolution? That's why I think Gene's looking at resolution.
Yeah, I don't think we did. Did we?
We have a December 31st term ending for him. So that was updated on the board manager.
So we,
Yeah, I think I had, Jody gave me a list with that information.
I do believe we're still short one on that board, even if it's an alternate.
We
Walters
needed the
may have slipped by me.
reappointment of Ed Miller too. That was part of that letter,
What?
to reappoint.
Yeah, because I think he was, I can dig into that
Yeah.
tomorrow. And I can, Jody might have it all on the,
I'll double check that too.
okay. All right, we'll check into that and can add it to the next agenda, or actually we'd have to do interviews and we'd have to post it
To fill the vacancy?
to fill the vacancy if there's a vacancy.
Yeah, according to the letter, there is.
Okay. So, we're looking at 10/21. That's our special budget meeting. That's our future board. I don't see what the EDU hearing's not gonna be then. That'll probably be when the budget hearing is.
It should be when, well, you should discuss it during Greg's portion of the budget, because, I mean, you're raising monies, it's part of the budget.
So your EDU rates should be not hearing, right? For the 21st,
Say that again?
rates.
Yeah, just a discussion of what the rate will be.
What the rate will be,
The
will be
EDU
into the budget
analysis,
discussion
how
on
many
the 21st, yeah.
EDUs, yep.
Okay.
When do you want this material by? Friday?
Yeah, for normal. Assuming Friday. So 10/20, so there's nothing else on the 21st.
No, just.
Nope, that's it.
27th, nothing else other than a special meeting for the public hearing, the moratorium. So then we're gonna go to the 10. Mr. Boland's rezone.
Are we gonna do applications for councilmen?
Yep. Or for, oh, you're gonna do applications for councilmen. Ooh. We had, didn't, can we, do we have to redo that, or we had one that, when we voted for, there was votes for 2 people.
Yeah,
One
but we should advertise. I mean, I know it was recently, but, I mean, we still have the worth 3, and 1 wasn't qualified.
Okay.
On that, so, but there may be somebody else that
Okay.
may want to do it that wasn't in that pool the last time. I don't want to exclude anybody.
All right, so how do you wanna do that?
Just advertise it on the signboard and on the website. Public service announcement. The news,
Do the same process?
yeah.
So what do you wanna do the time frame on it? If we get it on tomorrow, tomorrow is the 16th or 17th. We get it out there. How long do you want it out there for? How long you want to take applications for?
3-4 weeks.
Okay.
What did you do last time?
We did,
Four?
I think it was, we do meetings every 2 weeks, and it was like the 3rd meeting that we had everything, so I thought it was like, I thought it was a month, but
Tell me what you want.
So essentially, you'd want applications in the Friday before the meeting of the 26th of November.
so we're talking about.
So the 21st is a Friday,
16, 2, 3, 1, 2.
right? Because we've got the 29th is regularly scheduled, November 12th and November 26th.
Oh, then
When's the public hearing for the budget?
November's an odd month.
Want to move that to the 10th of December then?
No.
So the town budget hearing has to be no later than November 20th of each year.
So if we don't do a special public hearing, we have to do the public hearing on the 12th.
Right. And my recommendation is you also do the EDU benefit assessment hearing and the water and sewer rate increase hearing. And I would suggest that you do the fire contract hearings all on the same date, because they're all money related.
So that'll be a long meeting. Okay.
That has to be done by the 12th, Nate?
The latest you can adopt it is November 20th, so just the way your meeting
You said
schedule falls.
So to answer application question, Gene, you could take them up to the following week. 'Cause then you could address that at the 26th, the regularly scheduled meeting on the 26th.
So if you got it out tomorrow, right? So 4 weeks from that is the 13th. And then we've got a meeting on the 26th, but we're gonna have to have a special meeting, or on the 12th.
Yeah, probably. So what I'm saying is you could even extend that beyond the 13th if you wanted to.
Or cut it off on the 6th and go 3 weeks.
Or cut it off on the 6th, yeah.
I guess my preference is to cut it off on the 6th.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the 6th?
Yeah.
And then you want it on the agenda for the 12th?
Yes.
What do you want on the agenda for the 12th? Do you want it just the applications to discuss, or do you want to do the same thing we did last time?
I think that's
5 minutes to, right, to pitch yourself.
Yeah, that worked, that's absolutely fine with me.
Okay.
Are we good, I'm sorry, let me just have clarity on that. On the 12th, are we gonna select the ones that we want to present, or if we get 30,
Well,
are
that's
we-
what I was wondering.
That's what I was trying to hint at. I mean,
But I
you
think-
wanna just get the applications in on the 12th, board discuss them on the 12th, and then set up for the 26th.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that's
you,
what I meant.
okay, so you would cut it off on the 6th. We would make a pool selection on the 12th. And then do interviews, or whatever you want to call them,
Presentation.
presentations at the following meeting on the
26th.
26th.
Okay.
Guys, just so, I had the time for adoption of your final budget. That's correct, it's no later than November 20th. The hearing, I messed that up a little bit, has to be no later than, shall be held on or before the Thursday immediately following the general election.
Say that again?
It has to be on the Thursday, your hearing on the preliminary budget has to be on the Thursday immediately, on or before the Thursday immediately following the general election. So this year, that's actually November 6th.
Right, so the 12th works.
The 12th is, you need to open your public hearing before November 6th. You can keep it open to a subsequent meeting, but you're supposed to start your public hearing on the preliminary budget prior to November 6th. or on or before.
Prior to.
Yes, on or before it. So either you
So
hold your
we either do it on
preliminary,
the 29th, or we have a special,
or you have a special
or we
meeting.
have a special meeting.
I don't know who's gonna do the budget. I could try to make some phone calls and see if we can find
Dave,
someone.
when that came up with the bookkeeper on it, one of the conversations was that you may have some contacts with bookkeepers. Did you do anything with that?
Yeah, I reached out to
Okay.
Village of Endicott, City of Binghamton, Town of Dickinson. Had some conversations about the Town of Binghamton. None of those panned out.
Okay. The CPA, see what we can do.
Can ask him. Yeah, I'll ask Dwayne. But that's,
Or a reference to somebody. doesn't, if it's a contract issue, it doesn't matter to me if it's Dwayne or anybody else. Just because we have an existing contract with him, that makes it a more timely kind of issue, but.
Yep, and we'll just have to make some phone calls. I don't know what we're gonna get. Someone's gotta know Williamson, obviously. Or.
Maybe Jody can reach out to Williamson. Because it could be something that can be done remotely. It doesn't have to be local, somebody sitting at the desk.
True. It's all things we can make some communications with, see what we can come up with, but we gotta have somebody that's gonna be able to get in there and change it around.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of it because my bookkeeper's not sitting at her desk in my office.
Right.
100% of the time that she's doing it.
It's Williamson Law Books. Okay. We gotta make sure we get all the dates correct. There was
So on the future topics here, you suggested, Nate, to do the EDU hearing on the 29th.
Well, my suggestion was you hold all of your hearings regarding money-related items, because they're all part of the they all are pieces of the budget, right? The water sewer rate increase is, Greg is budgeting for it. If you don't approve his budget with that increase, then we need to change I don't know what you're doing with the water sewer rate increase, right? Same thing with the fire contract public hearings. We're required to hold a public hearing on that instead of holding the budget hearing and then later holding a separate public hearing on the fire contract amounts. But to me, it makes sense that you do them all in one. You don't have to. It's just a
Makes sense.
thought.
Does it make any sense to open that public hearing, on the 21st instead of a special meeting?
So Gene,
Can't we do it on the 29th?
Oh, we can, but we're already meeting for the budget. That was the only tie to it.
So Gene, the public hearing has to be on the preliminary budget. Right now, you guys haven't
Oh,
made any
tentative.
changes. You're still
Got it.
tentative.
Yeah, nope, understand. Yep.
But if on October 29th, you will have your preliminary budget in some form, that's not a bad idea. Open the public hearing on the 29th so that we've started that process, and then we can continue if we need to.
Because it fulfills that requirement.
Right.
Yeah. We may not be able to do that on the 29th if we can't actually produce a document that is the preliminary budget.
Going on the premise that we can.
Right. Nope. It's scheduled for the 29th. If we can't do it, we just don't do it. Okay.
It's a 5-day hearing notice, so 5 days prior to the meeting, it has to be in the newspaper. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'd have to get the notice to the newspaper that you're gonna hold the hearing on the 29th, I think, by the 22nd, or possibly the 21st itself. So you might wanna schedule the 29th budget hearing tonight, just so that we don't miss a deadline for publication in the newspaper.
I'm okay with that.
And if for whatever reason, you, Gene, to your point, were concerned, if it's not a preliminary budget document fully completed, hold a public hearing. We're just gonna keep it open.
Yeah. Okay. What was that now? What are you changing now? No, I'm making a motion, Kevin. Okay. To schedule a public hearing for the preliminary budget for 7 o'clock, October 29th.
Does it have to be
6
6 o'clock?
Yeah,
Right.
for, on or around 6 o'clock on the 29th.
I second that motion.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye. 6 PM, 29th, preliminary hearing for the budget. We're gonna open it then, correct? That's what we're talking about? Okay. So I'm just trying to get the 29th meeting. Talked about the retiree healthcare insurance, maybe we can get Chuck here. So we can finalize that. This other wastewater treatment plant change order that Leeson brought up.
Number 5 should be ready to go for that night, and she'll have draft info to present to you on the other Kubricki change order that's still coming.
Okay. So we'll put that on the agenda. The Constellation Energy, I'll put that information on and the cyber insurance. These are all on the 29th, unless you think there's too much, tell me. They seem like quick ones.
Your comp plan contract from Colliers came in for Nate and I to review today.
I saw that,
You have an email to Mike,
so
that
I think it should have went to everybody.
if the two of us like it, we'll present it to you for,
The board, you should be, are you guys getting the forwarded emails that you should have got? You were not getting the forwarded emails?
What was this one on?
So the comp plan,
The consultant's contract for the comp plan.
I will
No.
forward it to you.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I thought I was getting them, I thought you guys were all getting them.
came through at 3:18 today to the supervisor and then sent to Nate and I.
So
Okay.
I'll forward it to you
I
guys.
did
and then
not get that
You probably
else.
got to check on an IT issue then, Kevin, is what it
Well,
sounds
now
like.
it's all gonna change tomorrow. We'll
Oh,
go
that's
back and
true.
get a hold of Cubis and we'll get,
So I'll forward this draft contract to you guys. As Alex mentioned, it just came in this afternoon. We haven't had a chance to look at it.
but there's other stuff. I'll forward you everything that's been going on.
Did you add the fobs to that? I know we talked about it.
The what?
The key fob?
You want that on the
I think that we talked about that being on the 29th. Then the lighting, we can push another meeting.
Okay, push that another meeting,
Push that.
because you're gonna probably have to get
Yeah.
requoted.
Yep.
The assessors, if Nate can research that. She really wanted to get it quicker than later, sooner than later, so. And then the, resolution for the ordinance office transfer, line transfer.
Yep.
Okay, get that in there on the 29th.
You have someone receiving bids Monday also, or proposals for attorney, engineer, professional services. I know I'm submitting mine, presumably Nate. Those are all due the 20th. I'm not sure what other ones. Was the Municipal Solutions bond?
It was, no, it was insurance agent and CPA firms.
So we all submit Monday. I don't know where you want those to be, how you want those handled.
There's the ordinance office, RFQ as well.
Right, that was also supposed to get sent out, and did you end up publishing that?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's returnable the same date.
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who's receiving other than Adam, but generally I'm there for a lot of them, but I won't be for my own.
I would hold off on anything else for the 29th if we're gonna open the public hearing for the preliminary budget and what we have on there already. Unless someone's got another suggestion.
Nope, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any urgency other than end of term, end of year.
If there is an urgency.
Just so we know.
I mean, they can fire us.
Yeah, I'm submitting no matter what.
Okay. Any other discussion on future agenda, future board topics?
Sometime way in the future, I want to revisit how we review the abstracts. Sign up for them. No date, I just want to revisit it, that's all.
Are you talking the voucher review?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Put that on a TBD after we get through the budget. All right. We missing anything else? Do we need to go into executive session for that email that was sent today, or?
I'm gonna pull that back up, because I didn't actually, I know you.
3:40 today, Gene.
Yeah.
And my reasoning just for executive session, do you want me to retain that information or get that information and send it?
I mean, essentially, he's asking for dates.
Yeah. It's about a potential litigation, so it shouldn't, so it needs to be an executive session.
Meeting of executive session.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it does.
It does.
I'm gonna do open forum. Right, before we go on. Okay, we're gonna do open forum one last time. Guests shall speak in an orderly fashion, are limited to remarks of 5 minutes or less. The speaker will deliver the comments and concerns in a civil tone without the use of profanity, personal attacks, or other disruptive behavior which may result in the offender's removal from the meeting. The speaker shall not interrupt except in the matter of urgency. Would anybody like to speak? If you'd like to speak, come up to the microphone right here. We'd like you to speak in the microphone because they can't hear you at home if you don't.
Steve Parmenter, 735 Brotsman Road, Binghamton. I've had occasion to visit the cemetery at Maple Grove, and I'd like to thank you, the board, for maintaining it so well. It's a pleasant visit. My dog likes to go for a ride. Since my wife died, it's been one of the changes, so it's a short ride, and she doesn't know the difference. And anyway, also the fire department, I usually speak in favor of their increases. I went to a livestock auction today in Dryden, and I spoke to the elderly auctioneer afterwards, and he described their industry as in crisis. I watched them bring, like, I think it was 80 calves out one at a time.
Oh, jeepers. Probably broke now. Don't worry.
Thank you. $80 calves out one at a time, and the first one went for $1,500. I can remember times when they'd be $100 a piece. And the auctioneer described their industry as in crisis because the prices are so inflated. My electric bill in August went up 500%. And I got neighbors that are experiencing the same kind of increases. Not just the electric, but that comes out quite a lot. And one neighbor kicked out Spectrum like 3 years ago. He's got 2 teenagers. Just a nice house, no paved driveway, but I don't know what to say about the fire department. So yes, we need them, but we need the roads paved, because when you don't have the roads paved, that increases the maintenance and repairs on a car that you can't afford to replace. Solar, I'm totally opposed to it. I've had the privilege of delivering off-road diesel to these projects, and everything you're hearing is as true as I can tell. Clear cutting, I'm sure you've all seen it. I've seen some of the projects come close to finish, miles and miles of cable buried under the ground, which, as far as I know, it eliminates that parcel of property for any other use. You can't dig it, you can't plow it because you've got wires under there. The steel posts that the solar panels sit on are anchored in cement. It just renders that part of the land useless from what I can observe. And one other thing, when they replace panels, I've heard in the news that somebody, I don't remember where it was, had hail damage. And the fluid inside the panels was leaking, contaminating the ground. And that municipality said, we're not replacing them. But my point is, when those panels have to be shipped out, I'm one of the few guys that can drive the vehicle because I'm CDL licensed and hazmat endorsed. You have to have a special driver for those vehicles. I don't see any upside, and probably the biggest reason we're having such a hard push for solar is because we're in a democratically controlled state. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak?
Okay, this is gonna be over my head, but, okay. Elaine Pierce, Frederick Road. I'm a little confused about the public hearing coming up on the 27th. Because at 7 o'clock, there's 2 on the solar farms. At 5 o'clock, it's about the moratorium. Is that correct? So then you stop and then the others start? Is that? No? The town board's public hearing will go until it's over. The planning board's meeting will pick up whenever the town board meeting ends. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Welcome, Supervisor.
Thank you.
The other thing, Mr. Simonis, you brought up about the planning board, and zoning board, and offshoots of this, okay? I always was under the impression that they came, after they did all their work, they come to you and say, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and like there's contact between you all, and then I learned there wasn't, which makes no sense because you have no idea what's going on in the next room, if you will. And it boggles my mind, if I have this information correct, and I have been told this several times. For one example on the planning board and making decisions is just in Highland Heights on the River Road solar project that has been going on for 5 years. And no decision has been made. And now they're starting over with a whole nother plan, the owners, to do this. So if they can't make a decision in 5 years on one thing, like, there needs to be a change up, and I just want to say I agree with your idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I think I'll wait to give a long speech for the next meeting, but I'll just simply say that I oppose this solar farm, and I appreciate your consideration for the residents in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to ask a question about the process, and Kevin's deeply involved in this one, and I'm happy that you're there too, Kevin. But here's the deal. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. Okay, Hal Snowpeck died. Gene was there for all of this, so he remembers all this. Hal Snowpeck died. You had to replace everything. You know, you had to, okay. You got Joanne Klinovic. She left. She resigned. You had the same thing going. Now you got Mr. Lumsden. The same thing's going. So there should have been a better process, I think, in line. Now, my question to Kevin and the rest of you guys is, I still don't understand the process. You've become, from deputy, you've become a super, okay, understand. Now, is that to fill his 2.5-year term or whatever's left, or are you gonna have a special election in a couple months? Is that how that would, I haven't heard anybody say anything about it, so.
There'll be an election.
It's up to the Board of Elections, County Board of Elections to decide what needs to be done.
So.
They
so-
haven't even been notified yet.
So
I will
you may
notify them
have a
tomorrow.
shorter term than you think anyway.
Absolutely. I could have
No,
a-
I don't mean
I
it
could have
that
a very
way.
short term.
I don't mean
But
it
I
that
don't
way.
want to do a report, well, I'm sorry, I'm not.
No,
supposed to.
I don't mean that. I mean, I'm happy.
We're past September 1st.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah, so there will be an election next year.
there'll be an
There'll be a
election, and
Special election, your
and if-
go
Yes.
through to the next
if
election.
Mr. Warden wants to run, he
Your
can
appointment
run.
is to December
at that time,
31st,
yes.
2026.
No, it's until the day of the election next year. The person elected will take office the next day, after the election in 2026.
And it could
That is
be,
not-
could be
I-
Kevin
I'm-
again.
I'm gonna, just to defer that conversation, because that was not the advice or the process that we followed before. It was the board's election, it was the person sitting in that seat that could resign before it. But for tonight's issue, it was my understanding and intention that that appointment was through the end of the year. So let's just defer that conversation.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean.
No, no, no.
That's all right. Just so you
It-
know, I
it-
was
It all
up,
has to be, it all has to be run out in its course. but-
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I was up for election next year anyways, my position.
Okay.
just so
but
you know.
You seem a little reluctant. I'm glad you took it, really. We all like you, so. Okay, one other thing I have to remind you of, and Gene remembers all this too. You all represent the town, but you all live in different districts in the town. So you're all in different areas, and you represent all the constituents, and you've got the ones close to you, and they're the ones that probably always talk to you. Now, since Russ and Terry Kellogg and Hummendinger,
Russ Hummendinger.
yeah, right. Now, he lived down here in Morningside Heights.
Yep, with
And
Terry.
Terry
Kellogg.
lived right next, a couple houses away from me. So I hope you'll give due consideration when you move everybody up a notch to kind of, if we have some people that want to run or get in somehow over there, that we can have some representation there. Okay? That's basically what I'm thinking of. Oh, the moratorium. Well, I've got to say, I'm still a little confused. When you guys get the nuts and bolts together on the moratorium, and right now there's a little disarray, and I understand that. When you get that all together, okay, I'm thinking, do we get a vote on it? How does that work?
You don't get a vote.
We don't get a vote.
No,
That's what I'm saying. Is
You get a public say,
Okay,
because that's the public hearing portion of
Okay.
it, that we hear from the public on what the
and
residents
and
want.
hopefully that'll sway or unsway you one way or the other. Yeah, I mean, you're
Yep,
gonna,
absolutely.
yeah, okay, that's,
Yep.
that's all I'm interested in, because, I don't know, hey, I'm old, I lose my thing there, but it's, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Chris Bodick, Brooks Road. First off, I want to just put my support behind these folks down here in Morningside Heights. The fact that it even gotten this far is kind of beyond me. If you all remember, we had a moratorium on solar, and how that change worked out for us residents. So I'm not too convinced that there's going to be more change, but they had their opportunity, and here we are. It's a terrible spot, terrible place. There's absolute zero benefit for the town. There's zero tax base. There's nothing but burden when it comes to, you know, the Department of Public Works, and it's a terrible idea all around. So these are you guys fumbled last time we had a solar moratorium. You had the opportunity, and now all of a sudden you want another opportunity? Really? We shouldn't even be here right now. It's you know what? If it benefited the neighborhood, if it benefited us taxpayers, if it was putting more cookies in the cookie jar, yeah, okay, maybe if it benefited the town, it benefited the residents on their rates, and it benefited the landowner, where it was a win-win-win, I could stand behind it. It's a win-lose-lose is what it comes down to. There's zero benefit for the residents. There's zero benefit. There's a negative benefit for the town. And that's my opinion. As far as the moratorium's concerned, you know, I listen to everything that everyone's saying here. Rates are going up, right? Wages are going up, Greg. We're talking about sewer and water rates are going up. We're talking about everything's going up, okay? It's a fact. And then we want to keep taking from the cookie jar, but we want to shut all the ovens off for 2 years. And Gene, I know you say it's only a year, but the contract was 12 to 15 months. Well, I'm not too convinced, based on the latest projects going on in the town, that they're gonna be on time. So we want to stop all production, shut the ovens off, and we want to keep taking from the cookie jar. Careful what you wish for, folks. Okay, you know the town might be sitting on a pile of cash now, but just wait, just wait. Just wait until rates go up, taxes go up, everything goes up. So we want to stop. We want to stop good ideas. We want to stop, tax base. We want to stop everything across the board. So what? So we could wait for the comprehensive plan. You might have my attention with this if the comprehensive plan was done, and then you can put a moratorium on the indifferences between the two comprehensive plans from last to this, and then put a moratorium on said things until new local law codes, whatever you want to do, can be put into place. I think it's a joke that it's even here. And very much so, we still have a comprehensive plan. It doesn't stop at year 9, okay? And we didn't stop. You want change? We want change. We're tired of talking about change. Where were we 10 years ago when we had a comprehensive plan? You've had 10 years. Where's the change? So I'm not convinced at any of this, and I don't support any of it. And I will do what I can to bring people around to rally behind me. I think it's very important for everybody to be here. I hope everybody grabs as many people in the town that they can to come and support their voice, whatever their opinion might be, because our voices matter. It doesn't matter what we elect these people, okay? So we have a voice, our town has a voice, and everybody should voice their opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is that it? Oh, nope.
Just have a quick couple of things real quick. First, thanks for letting me get ahead and do what we got to do to get this stuff done for the truck. November 12th, because I didn't have time to talk and I wasn't on, I'd like to get on the meeting if I could as an agenda or a department head, because I have a couple things that I know coming up that need to be taken care of if possible. Number 2, I sent an email about the fob situation, about 2 of the doors within that I've been really concerned that don't need them on there right now because they're going to be more of a hassle and they're really going to slow me down doing our job every day. I'm asking for those 2 to be removed, just like I asked in the email for the last month now. So I'm asking for the board to please grant that wish on those 2. And I will be sending, just so you guys know, all my budget worksheets that I submit. I'll be getting those out to you by the end of the day Friday, just so you have what we put together from the highway side, from what I have on the general side as well. And one last thing, thank you for the appointed part of that, but I have no idea where it's coming from, so please keep me informed. But I just wanted to say that.
One more.
I forgot one thing, sorry. I still need, at some point, the executive sessions that have been going on for the last couple months, at some point, still discuss some of the issues or concerns that we have.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Van Tassel. I live on Hoffman Drive. And timing-wise, I just happened to have to attend a planning board meeting. So I just want to give you a little bit of a calendar thing for the 27th. The thing that happened on the planning board was residents came for several different items that were there for special use, and the solar people came. And there was a huge discussion about how many people could be in the room and whether there was way too many people. So the meeting was opened and then a motion was made to close the meeting, which did not make everyone very happy. And that's how the whole thing came about putting the meeting in the Shenango Forks High School. It wasn't generated by the planning board just saying they wanted to do that. So now we're in a situation where
The 27th is the meeting that the solar people were moved to. So from your perspective of having your meeting with the amount of people that are gonna wanna be speaking and then pushing the planning board meeting back after that, I just feel like you should be aware that that's probably gonna be another issue of people being a little hot coming in, if you wanna call it that. The second thing is about the planning board, which I just feel I have to know, and I know everyone's leave, and I do as well. It hasn't been brought up in all this talk about the comprehensive plan or the moratorium that we don't have proper code officer. The issue that I'm attending at the planning meeting could have possibly been helped if we had had better code enforcement, because residents in the neighborhood went to the code officer and were pushed off and pushed on. And at the planning meeting last night, it was explained that if someone is not in enforcement of the code, they can remedy that by applying for a special permit, and that's the full circle of that conversation. So code enforcement is gonna be very necessary, not a part-time person and not someone that doesn't attend any of the planning board meetings, so they don't hear any of the conversations or any references to the code or anything like that. So I just feel that should be part of that discussion as well. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think on your new position, and thank the board for sticking with it and hoping to pull the town back to the place where it's clicking a little more on a regular basis and not. So, thank you for that.
Thank you. Okay, we're all set? Okay. Want to make a motion?
You're doing an executive session.
Yeah.
You're doing the motion for that now.
What?
You're doing the motion for that now.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Do you want to do a session?
You gotta say why.
I'm just trying to. I make a motion to go into an executive session regarding the lawsuit topic about the sewage treatment plant.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
None?
I have none.
None. Roll call.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hilbert?
Aye.
Mr. Warden?
Aye.
Nope, they can go, yeah, I'm all set.
We all leave, you can stay here. Except for now, you got to talk about it. got a bit of a, now.
got a lot of business to do Wednesday night. So I assumed you didn't want any contact between when you sent that out and Wednesday, so I was staying out of your hair.
And I'm sorry.
'Cause I was here
apologize
yesterday.
I apologize for saying that. I was just a little overwhelmed. And Gene,
Yeah.
Gene, I apologize. I didn't mean it. I know you guys are extremely busy. I know you
No,
both
I would've been down here.
extremely busy. Actually, I came in, I saw you two, and he called, he talked to you. He never called me. I got notified by the lawyer, just so you know. My two first phone calls was Nate telling me he resigned. The second one was TSP telling me you're the only one who can access the account. That's the only two phone calls I got. And no big deal, whatever, we're moving forward, but I saw, you two guys were in the ethics training.
Yeah.
I came in, I saw you in there, so I went upstairs, so three of us wouldn't be in here, I did the second one. So I knew you guys were here, just so you know, I knew.
I don't want you to think that.
No,
Problem